Here for a second. I'm sitting out of my car, drinking my coffee, eating my breakfast before I get ready to head inside and start my live on TikTok for the day. But I just wanted to hop on Instagram here shortly. I thought I had some time. But Donald Trump has won the presidential election, and he will be the next president of the United States of America. I think that there's a handful of repercussions that need to be discussed, but I think the main thing that needs to be discussed right now is how do we move forward, and where is there to go from here? I'd say right now no one really knows where we go from here, but time will tell, and only time will tell, quite frankly. There's a lot of really important repercussions. I mean, I made a video about a handful of them. Because Kamala Harris is not going to be the next president of our country, there will be no federal codification for every single American woman and girl's right to choose. That means 60 rape victims a day will be continued to be denied access to abortion. 1 out of every 3 women in our country no longer have elective access, and it will stay that way for at minimum another 4 years. Same thing when it comes to economic policy. We will only see income inequities grow because Trump's policy disproportionately favors rich people on the backs of members of the low and the middle class, because he wants to pay for his tax cuts for the rich people with tariffs that regressively impact members of the low and middle class the most with inflation. I'd say there's also a lot of global considerations. What's going to happen in Ukraine now that we have a man that is Putin's lapdog. Does not want to further support them and stand against Russian advancement. What's going to happen in the Middle East now that we'll have a president that wants Israel to finish what they started and wants to continue to fund them with as much money and weapons as they need to do so. A man that wants to flatten Iran. The outcomes of this will be very interesting to observe over the course of the next handful of years. Yep. All right. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing this morning? What an odd morning. You know what I mean? What a very odd, scary morning. You're done? Well, if there's one thing that I could, say to everyone watching, there's a way forward. We just don't really know what it is yet. I think one really shocking consideration from me, I just didn't know. Excuse me. Oh no, not a second one. I guess I just didn't know that there was this many fucking dumbasses in our country. Because looking at the outcome of the election, oh boy, is it drastic. I think there was maybe 3 counties in America where Kamala Harris outperformed Biden in 2020. A disproportionate amount of all the counties in our own in the country made a massive shift to the right, very far to the right. Trump even won the popular vote by about 5 million votes. That's the first time a Republican has done that in about 26 to 30 years. So, craziness. I guess something else I learned last night, especially on Twitter. I think that we already knew that men hated, some men hated women, but I didn't expect for some women to hate women. That was quite a shock, waking up to women on Twitter being like, my body, your choice. Crazy. It's so over and we're not so back. No, we are going back. One thing I will say though, I've started to see a handful of people online talk about potential voter fraud, saying that it's possible that Trump rigged the outcome of the election and whatnot. I would highly implore you to not delve into the same conspiracies that MAGA has for the last 4 years. Before you hold to those beliefs, introspect upon yourself and think about how you view the January 6 rioters, because at the end of the day, all they did was an attempted coup because they thought the election was rigged. So I wouldn't recommend that. People would rather vote for a roach than a woman. Yeah, fortunately. Alright guys, I just wanted to come on Instagram Live here for a second. I'm gonna head inside, go live on TikTok. I'm pretty close to hitting 2 million, so that's crazy. But yeah, I'll see you all over on TikTok here very shortly. You know, it'll be interesting to pave our way forward. See you. Downfalls, and they have been realistically since Donald Trump first won presidency in 2016. Since Donald Trump won the presidency in 2016, I'd say that the Democrat Party has been faltering and tracking mud in the House, and they have not been organized, and they have not resonated with the average voter to the degree that they should. And there are some problems in the Democrat Party there. I think that they're easy and apparent to see. Another reason why I think that Donald Trump won was because the news cycle of the right over the course of the last 4 years was much more susceptible to be accepted by the average American that is politically ignorant than the news cycle on the left. What I mean by this, right, is we have seen billions of dollars dumped into political advertising over the last 4 years for the Republican platform, stating that the current administration is what caused the inflation we see in the country. The current administration is what made your gas more expensive. The current administration is what caused all these economic pitfalls and turmoils that were in all reality onset by COVID. But because the average voter is not politically informed to a sufficient degree to know that that's the case, they accepted that and voted for Trump because the gas prices were high under Biden and Harris. Voted for Trump because of all these things, right? And I guess one thing that I think is interesting is as of today, we've seen leaps and bounds in the stock market. In the S&P 500, they are going fucking wild. If you have money invested right now after Trump won, your investments are going crazy, right? And that's because consumer confidence can drive, right, economic successes. And because we have seen so many consumers and even businesses not confident in our economy for the last 4 years, because the Republican media has been telling them that the current administration has been destroying it, and now that Trump has won, which is supposed to be their Lord and Savior, that consumer confidence is going to drive economic successes in the short term. But how do you feel about my answer?
I think some of your points are valid, but I would say that you're saying that consumer confidence is up, and the reason, and you're saying it's only because the economy's been bashed by the right. Who raised more money this election season, the Democrats or the Republicans?
I'm not so sure about the first statement that you said there, and I don't think it was, like reflective of what I had said. But Kamala Harris raised more money than the right.
How much
I
more?
think.
What?
I don't know. I don't know how much more.
It was like 3-1.
Yeah, because what is it? Was it like 97% of billionaires and millionaires donated to the Republican Party?
97.
I heard that somewhere. I don't know if it's true. I don't know.
No, majority. Yeah, I could name you almost every billionaire besides just a few are actually Democrats.
Yeah.
So,
I kind of just want to talk to people about why they voted for Trump. Is there anything else you want to add on before I move on to my next guest?
no, but I do appreciate talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you for your time, man. We're going to move on to our next guest here, guys. For the 24.4 thousand people in here, make sure that we're double tapping away in that phone screen. And yeah, man, we're going to be having these discussions literally all day long. Andrea, I appreciate you for the Chasing the Astronaut. Yeah, very interesting day. Hi, Justin. Why did you vote for Trump?
I vote for Trump because you'll make America better than Kamala Harris trying to make her rallies look like a strip club.
Rachel, I appreciate you for the $5 on PayPal. Kamala Harris tried to make her rallies look like a strip club. Well, that is false. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's not false. Okay.
Daniel, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Daniel. Everyone appreciates the love to Daniel in the chat.
Go.
You should be happy. Trump just won. Why are you so angry still?
I'm not angry. You should be angry, bro. I'm not angry at all.
Let's talk about it. All right, why did you vote for Trump? Lay it on me.
Why did I vote for Trump? Because, let's see, gas prices are going to start going down. Food's going to be more affordable. Freaking, fast food's going to be, cheaper.
Okay. I have two questions. My first question would be, how did the Biden-Harris administration make gas more expensive in the first place? Or how does Trump intend to make gas prices go down?
You know how they did that? They closed a Keystone pipeline, and which Trump is going to open back up.
Okay, so the Keystone XL pipeline was actually shut down for a year in 2017 under Trump's presidency. And the reason why it was shut down under Biden and Harris was because of an order from the Supreme Court.
You're living in a...
Was because of an order from the Supreme Court. And shutting in that pipeline did not cause gas prices to increase because it wasn't currently producing oil. How?
You're an idiot, bro.
How did shutting down Keystone XL cause gas prices to increase?
Because we were producing our own gas. That's why. We were producing our own oil to make our own gas.
Oh, got it. We're actually producing more oil under the Biden-Harris administration than we ever did under
No,
Trump.
we weren't. Okay. Okay. Yeah. If
Ashley, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Ashley. Everybody show some love to Ashley down below for the $20 donation on PayPal. Thank you so much, Ashley. You were phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Go ahead. Are you done, asking your followers for money, bro?
I have not asked my followers for money. I just was thinking.
Okay, so posting your Venmo and all that is not asking for money. Okay.
No, that's how viewers of the stream can support me, right? Because this would,
Because you don't have a life. That's why. You have no life, bro.
Okay, I do have a life. I probably have more of a life.
No, you
than
don't. You don't have a dude.
No, I wasn't thinking for the
You do
galaxy.
not
When was
have
the
a
last time you
life,
touched
bro.
grass?
What?
When was the last time you touched grass?
When was the last time you touched grass, bro? Don't ask me that.
And I think it's funny when like guests on my live say that I don't have a life. So we're actually both sitting on TikTok live right now, but only one of us is getting paid for it. Just to let you know. But who doesn't really have a life?
Bro,
But
you're my entertainment when I'm on lunch, bro. That's all.
Okay,
You're just my entertainment while I'm on lunch.
Can you please tell me specifically how shutting down the Keystone XL pipeline drove the price of gasoline up when it is the case that the U.S. production of crude oil is higher now than it ever has been before? Julie, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for my non-life. I appreciate you.
Bro.
That did not answer my question.
Was
Bex, I
affordable
appreciate
under
you for the Cash Panda. Well, I mean, if you're just saying, well, it happened under the presidencies, therefore the individual presidency caused it. We also had the highest level of unemployment ever in our country since the Great Depression happened under Trump's presidency. Did he cause
No,
that?
it didn't. We had unemployment was bigger when we were under Biden because Biden had everything skyrocket. Trust me.
In April of 2020, what was our rate of unemployment? Nathan,
Now, you don't know economics, bro. You think you know economics, you don't, because you're home on a computer all day asking for money off of these fucking people. That's what you do, bro.
Okay, what is equilibrium price?
What do you want to fucking know, bro? You went to college for that shit. You tell me.
It's the intersection of price and demand. So you don't know what equilibrium price is. Got it. And you say that you know economics and I don't.
Do you studying, bro? Are you in that fucking Billy Madison movie?
Lauren, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you for dude. I actually do have. I actually do have a stutter.
9 to 5, bro.
Hey, Justin. So first of all, I actually do have a stutter. That wasn't my stutter. I was just repeating the
fuck
phrase.
It wasn't, bro. You had a stutter, bro. Fucking Billy Madison, motherfucker. You were.
I do have a stutter. That is true, Justin. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Samantha, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Lauren, thank you for the $10 on Venmo.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin,
his unfucking.
Hey, I just have a question.
Unemployment ass. Keep fucking giving him money.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Everyone show some love to Elizabeth down below. And Lisa, thank you for the fireworks. Hey, Justin, I just have a question. When Donald Trump is reelected as the next president, what president will he be?
He'll be the 47th, you dumb motherfucker.
Oh, and how many branches of government are there? Kaisha, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. And Michaela, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. And Kindle, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Garmin, thank you so much for the gift on Venmo. And Morgan, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. So how many branches of government are there? Okay, and who are you calling stupid, Justin?
No, you could go fuck yourself, little bitch.
Dude, why are you so angry? Like, your guy won. Or you should be like, yippee, yippee.
But instead you're like, talk shit about
Sophia, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate you for the love. Oh my God, like, how are you so mad right now? Luann, I appreciate you for the extension of 3-month sub. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. That's all you can say, huh?
Jesus fucking Christ. Like you say it too. Hey, shut up. Todd, thank you for the $11 and the 11 cents on Venmo saying that Justin is a baby. 1 second, calm down, buddy. I'm thanking my donor. You could wait your turn. Danimal, thank you so much for the travel. I do really appreciate you.
Tell them to fucking raise up, nigga. Raise up, nigga.
Oh my fucking God. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Francisca, I appreciate fucking hell. Francisca, I appreciate you for the $5 in Venmo. We're just gonna go and get the next guest up in here. Holy shit. All right, everyone, just give us a minute. Christina, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo. Everyone, do just give us a minute, guys. Make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. And Triple Z, I appreciate you for the Galaxy. Thank you so much. Natasha, thank you for the subscription. What's going on, man? Did you vote for Trump?
I sure did.
Michelle, thank you so much for the $20 donation on PayPal. Elizabeth with a $20 donation on PayPal. And Michaela with a 5 and Kaisha with a 10. Thank you guys so much for the love. So why did you vote for Trump, man? Let's talk about it.
Not only do I think the economy is going to thrive under Trump, but Trump has an intimidating factor, and he is respected around the world, and obviously he's respected in our country now. So,
okay, so I'd just simply ask you here why you think that the economy will thrive under him. What policy has he proposed that will make it thrive?
Well, he's going to drill. We're going to become energy independent.
Okay, so we were actually more energy independent under Biden and Harris than we were under Trump's first term. We produced more oil in America, and we were less reliant on imports.
So we
subscription.
We produced more oil, but we shut down the Keystone pipeline.
Yeah, because the Keystone XL pipeline was not American owned; it was owned by Canada. And second of all, we shut it down before it was producing oil.
Okay.
Yo, Rivka, thank you for the $50 donation on Venmo. That is insane. Thank you so much. Let's get some W's for Rivka in the chat. And Lauren and Caitlin, guys, thank you guys both so much for the $10 donation on Venmo as well. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you guys so much. So go ahead.
What am I answering?
Yeah, you said that we're going to be more energy independent, and that's what's going to uplift our economy. So we're actually more energy independent under Biden and Harris than we were under Trump's first term.
Okay.
So why did you vote for Trump? Alyssa, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. And Stephanie, thank you for the $40 on Venmo, saying keep getting them all. Well, I appreciate you for the $40. Stephanie, everyone, please show some love to Stephanie down below in that chat. Thank you so much, Stephanie. That's incredible.
I can't believe these people waste this money on you.
Ladybug, appreciate you for the money again. Well, okay. That's a little bit insane.
Yeah, it's insane that people donate to your PayPal and Venmo. It's
okay,
crazy.
Someone's jealous.
I mean, I'm getting some donations. Hey, shout out to everybody donating to me. Shout out
okay,
Mr. Harper.
Hey, could you just debate me? Amina, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna be more energy independent. We're gonna have a border again.
Okay, how are we gonna be more energy independent?
We're gonna drill, baby, drill.
Okay, how could you say that we're going to drill more under Trump than we would under Harris when we drilled more under Harris than we did under Trump?
Yeah, I just don't believe that. We got our oil from Venezuela and
no. This source on this would be the Energy Information Administration. That's going to be coming directly from U.S. EIA. You could just type in U.S. crude production of oil EIA.gov. And also Rivka, I got you. I just sent you $45 back.
Thank you. All right, so I mean. Another reason why
respond to my source. You're saying that you don't believe that we were more energy independent under Biden and Harris than we were under Trump. I give you a source that proves you wrong.
I still believe that we are, but I mean,
give me a source that indicate that you're right and I'm wrong.
No matter what I say, you're going to find a source to counteract what I believe. So,
bro, it's literally the U.S. Energy Information Administration. They've been reporting the amount of crude oil that we produce for the last 250 years.
Okay. That's fine.
So then what's the source that you'd have to indicate that we were more energy independent under Trump than we were under Biden or Harris? Or do you not really have a source and you're just talking with your emotions?
No, I don't do this for a living, so no, I don't have a source.
Okay, so then why do you believe it if you don't have any evidence for it?
Because I watch the news.
Ginger, thank you so much for the subscription. And Sean, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo saying Insane Democrats Fun. I appreciate you so much for the love, Sean. Thank you so much. And Kayla, thank you for the $1. Riley, thank you for the $1. You just watched the news. Okay, so this is why the Republican Party won. I have a question. How many continents are there?
We won the majority. We won the Senate, the House, the majority.
Did Republicans win the House? When did that happen?
Well, it's looking like it.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have anything else to add here, man?
I mean, I really hope that your life thrives from Trump. I hope, he can change your mind on a lot of things. I hope I believe he's going to make this country good again.
I mean, here's the issue. I'll be fine. I'll be fine under Trump, right? I'm a middle class white straight guy. I'll be fine. Okay. I'm not concerned about myself. I'm concerned about others, particularly women and girls. Right now, because Trump has won, that means that we will no longer see federal codification of every single American woman and girl's right to choose. And what that means is that there will be 60 assault victims per day that continue to be denied access to abortion. That is an issue. You cannot contest that fact. Okay. Right. Then secondarily, Gabble, thank you for the $4 and the 44 cents on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Because Trump is elected, we will further see the normalization of particular social attitudes, behaviors, and beliefs, right? Such as the idea that if Trump can become president of our country after sexualizing girls, boasting about grabbing women by the P word, and even being held civilly liable for rape, maybe I can too, right? That is completely reducing and diminishing the very real social consequences and stigmatization that we should hold towards shitty men.
and that can cause more harm to women. It will only further bolster the patriarchy and rape culture. And I mean, there's about a billion other things I could say here, right? I'm not concerned about myself. I'm concerned about others. And Molly, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying that you are amazing. I do really appreciate you for the love, Molly. And Alyssa, thank you for the $5 on PayPal as well.
And the thing about abortion is, I mean, I believe he's said multiple times that he wants to leave it up to the states.
DTR, thank you for the galaxy.
He gives the people.
Thank you for the galaxy.
If women want to live in a state where abortion is legal, they can easily do that.
Okay, can I give you the issue?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they can't so easily do that. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Could you easily pack up all your shit and move across the country right now?
No.
Okay. Thank you. You just proved your own claim wrong. Do you see what I did there?
I mean, I'm not. People aren't moving to these states.
Liam, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. And Sophie, thank you so much for the $25 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Sophie. Everyone show some love to Sophie down below in the comment section right now. Thank you so much for the $25, Sophie. Go ahead, man.
I mean, if people are mature enough to have sex, then I mean, I believe if they want to drive to the other state to get an abortion, I mean, they can do that. If they're mature enough.
Are you saying that if you engage in the act of intercourse, you consent to the outcome of that, thereby making you obligated to sustain a pregnancy? What are you saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Selena, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Selena. Everyone show some love to Selena in the chat. Here's the issue with that. Would you say if someone consents to smoking a cigarette, understanding and acknowledging the risk that it could lead to lung cancer, that they should be obligated to deal with their lung cancer if it occurs and they shouldn't be able to seek medical treatment to terminate it?
What people aren't seeking medical attention?
So you'd say that they should be able to seek medical attention, go into the hospital, and tell a doctor to terminate the life of the lung cancer, even though they smoked the cigarette knowing that it could lead to that outcome.
Okay, well...
Do you see the parallel there between your point that because women engage in intercourse knowing the outcome that it could lead to, thereby obligated to it?
Well, no, I don't, because two people having intercourse makes a human, and one person smoking just only affects that one human being.
Okay, well, I mean, now you're no longer saying, right, that they're obligated to deal with the pregnancy and they can't get an abortion because they knew the risks of intercourse, but they're rather just obligated to maintain pregnancy because of the valuable life of the human. So which one is it? Is the life of the fetus valuable, or is the mother obligated to deal with the outcome because she consented to sex knowing the outcome? And Joshua, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love.
I mean, it says on the cigarette boxes. I mean, everybody knows the risk when they're smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, but yet you still think that cigarette smokers that understand, acknowledge at risk, and get lung cancer should be able to seek medical treatment at a local hospital.
They should be able to seek medical treatment. I mean,
so why don't we say the same thing about women, right? We understand, right, that women and men can acknowledge the risks of engaging in intercourse, but because we don't want unwanted children to be forced into unready households, and we don't want the family dynamic to shift away from financially well-off adults that consent to having children that desire to start families into forcing 18, 19, 20-year-old boys and girls into starting families themselves, right, that we should allow women to access those services.
I mean, okay, but I mean, either way, being pregnant is like a miracle. It's a gift from God. And I know you're not Christian. I know you don't believe in all that, but it's still...
Are you Christian?
Yes.
Okay, I think that we need to define our terms. Would you agree with me that a good way to define the term pro-life would be nothing more than the simple fact that it's a belief or a set of beliefs that would inevitably lead to restricting or impeding upon a woman's ability to access/get an abortion?
Say that again.
Would you agree with me that we could define pro-life as a belief or set of beliefs that ultimately lead to restricting a woman's ability or will to get an abortion?
I mean, I don't think pro-life means restricting. I mean, pro-life is just choosing life over death.
Okay, dude, okay, sorry, you could leave now. If you don't know that what's like pro-life means, you can leave. Like, I mean, I'm kind of here just to have conversations with people that know the basics. So the pro-life movement is advocating for legislation to restrict on or impede a woman's ability to get an abortion, right, through legislation that makes it illegal, right? So like when you say that pro-life is life or death, you're just absolutely incoherent. So could you agree with me that like the pro-life movement, like essentially hopes to achieve a restrictions of a woman's ability or will to get an abortion?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So is God pro-life?
I mean, God, what? I mean, yeah.
Wait, God's pro-life? But I thought in the gospel it talks about how God really upholds and values the free will of humanity, and he would never want to restrict or impede upon an individual's abilities or will in the slightest. So in accordance with Christian gospel, seemingly God is not pro-life, but rather God is pro-choice. So my question to you, if God is pro-choice, why aren't you?
I don't know. It's a good question.
That is a good question, and it's a good question that you should really consider. And I ultimately think that is the best argument that we need to be, and the best discussion that we need to be having with Christians. Because inevitably speaking, right, if God doesn't have the authority, if God doesn't want to restrict a woman's access to abortion, you probably shouldn't either, okay?
I thought bringing up religion and politics was like, no, you're not supposed to do that.
No, you can do it right now. That's fine. You could absolutely do it right now. Yes, you could do it right now. Be a true Christian. Vote with your Christian values. God's pro-choice, so you should be too. How about that? Jalissa, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love, Jalissa. Everyone show Jalissa some love down below. And Marlena, thank you for the $20 on Venmo as well. Thank you, Marlena. Joshua with a $5, James with a $1, Liam with a $5, and Molly with a $10. Thank you guys so much for the love. And Carol, thank you so much for the $5 as well. Danielle, Daniela, thank you so much for the $15 on PayPal. And Selena with a $10, and Sophie with a $25. I appreciate you guys so much for the donations. But is there anything else that you want to bring up here today, Lynn?
No, I think that's about it. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you for coming up, man. Have a good rest of your day. For the 25,000 people watching, we're going to move on to our next guest. Guys, make sure that you do hit that follow button, y'all. We are so close to 1.8 million followers. So Donald Trump has won the presidency, and I'm sure that this is something that we'll be talking about a lot. I think for today, we're more focused on these debates. We will start running less and less of these debate streams for politics, and we will switch over to more social issues to get more people behind the right causes for midterms. But yeah, what's going on, Jake? Are you voting for Trump?
I'm going to be honest with you. So
did you vote for Trump? Sorry.
Oh, no, I did. But I'm going to be real with you. So I went into the election going into it saying like, I'm an open-minded person. I don't want to be like super close-minded about it. But the thing can I ask you, did you go to college at all?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. I did too. So the thing about college when I went there, dude, to be honest with you, like I felt a sense of that if you don't have a certain political belief, then you're very kind of like, I don't know how to, what's the word for this? Not valued the same. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, that's what just happens in like areas where you'll have like a particular political philosophy be predominant in the area. For instance, it'll probably be true for conservatives in a lot of like more liberal universities. The same way it's true for like liberals in a lot of conservative rural towns. For instance, I live in a conservative rural town. I feel stigmatized for my beliefs, and of course, we'll see that both ways. Right? It just depends on the area.
Yeah, no, I get that. But can we agree on one thing that I would say that most universities, obviously there's like a few in the country that are probably more conservative, but most of them are generally liberal.
Daniel, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I do really appreciate you for the love, Daniel. Everyone, please do show some love to Daniel. Yeah, a lot of public universities are liberal, and I think that's because the more educated you become, the more liberal you become, and I don't mean that as a diss.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's kind of where like I kind of shaped up to owning who I voted for this year, because to be honest with you, like the ways of how the university kind of shapes its students into trying to become that liberal sense, and that's why like people like Charlie Kirk and
that's just like an intersection of education, right, and like political like philosophy. Like ultimately, I believe that education, right, on the objective facts of the world around you, will typically be more conveyant of like the Democrat or liberal worldview, right? And that's not something that needs to be stigmatized or dissed. It's just a fact.
Yeah,
I appreciate you for the money gun.
Remind me, I can't remember the other guy.
Wait, why did you vote for Trump?
Oh, I voted.
No,
like I said, I voted
in PayPal. I appreciate you for the love.
Like I said, I kind of voted for Trump mainly, like seeing how. And I don't know, honestly, it's more so how like people behave during the political stances and stuff like that. So like, I don't really agree with all the hate. I'm not really agreeing with like both sides on that. But
so the one thing, for Trump?
No, the one thing that I'm kind of like not understanding is why I'm viewing more on the left side, the Democratic side.
So why did you vote for Trump?
I'm saying that I voted for Trump because I like the policies that he has still. But the thing is also that I'm mainly voted for him.
Like what policies?
I like the economy, how everything's going, dude.
Okay, so what's his economic policy and how is it better than Harris's?
I'm saying about the oil that he wants to do. I agree with completely all of that. And then also the thing about
like energy independence. Well, I mean, referencing energy independence, there's more crude oil produced in the U.S. under Biden and Harris than there was under Trump's first term, and we were less reliant on imports, meaning that we were literally more energy independent.
Yeah, and that's fine. I get that, but you want the reason why I'm kind of like I was like solidified into voting, and this is like where I was getting at, is that how the trends have been going so far is that young male voters in college, like me and myself, have been seeing that if you don't vote Democratic, you're the party of hate. And that's not how I want to be viewed in my life. I want to have my own political stance and not have to be a part of something that's telling me, oh, you're not voting for us, then you have a problem with me and you have a problem with my body. You have a problem with my...
Hey, man, have you ever gone on Twitter before and seen what conservatives say about me?
It's both sides.
If you're a man and you don't vote Republican, you're a gay cuck that lets other men fuck your girlfriend.
Hey man, I mean, I don't agree with anything like that. But the thing is like,
that's the message. That is the messaging from the right now.
Yeah, but like we're getting called Nazis, bro. Like I don't know what you want me to say about that. Like it's both sides, dude.
Can you name like one mainstream Democrat that is called Trump supporters Nazis?
Like in government, or do you want me to give you like a celebrity? Because I can give you
just
that.
Like one mainstream Democrat, sure.
Okay, Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg. So if Whoopi Goldberg didn't call all Trump supporters Nazis, you would be voting blue?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So if Whoopi Goldberg didn't call all Trump supporters Nazis, you would be voting for blue?
Well, no, I want to completely...
Okay, so then obviously that's not your reason why you're voting for Trump. I'm just like really trying... I'm just really trying to isolate for why you voted for Trump, and you're not telling me.
Well, the reason why I'm telling you is because I'm telling you that I'm following the trend of how things are going. People are sick of the hate rhetoric from the left and don't want to do that.
Hate rhetoric from the left, bro. Holy shit! Someone, a Nazi on Twitter. No. A Nazi on Twitter literally said that he could unalive me with his bare hands, and his tweet got 200,000 likes. Hate rhetoric from the left. Donald Trump said that migrants were scum that were poisoning the blood of our country. Hate rhetoric from the left. Donald Trump calls trans women men. Hate rhetoric from the left. Donald Trump called for termination of articles found in the Constitution and convinced 70% of the Republican voter base over the last 4 years that the last election was stolen from him after he tried to steal it from Biden with use of fake votes in Congress. No, hate rhetoric from the left. The worst thing that you have from the last 4 years, insofar as quote unquote hate rhetoric from the left, is Joe Biden accidentally calling all Trump supporters garbage. That is the worst thing you have. Give me an example from a Democrat in Congress, a Democrat in the mainstream political area, right, that has been more divisive and has spewed worse hate rhetoric than Joe Biden accidentally calling all Trump supporters garbage.
Hillary Clinton, dude. She's been telling the same exact kind of stuff, dude.
Okay, like what?
She's been telling how we're the party of hate and how we're not Nazis. She hasn't said that specifically.
Okay, wait. So I'm just saying, so Hillary Clinton saying that the Republicans and MAGA is a party of hate. That is a hate rhetoric that like isolated you to the right.
But the thing is like, okay.
No, is that it? Is that it? Wait. Is that it?
Wait, no, hold on. Can we agree on something?
No, wait 1 second. I'm just trying to isolate your reasons why you're voting for Trump. I feel like we can't agree on anything until you could tell me your reasons why you're voting for Trump. Amber, thank you so much for the $50 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love, Amber. Everybody, please do show some love to Amber down below in the chat for the $50. That is absolutely insane. Thank you so much. Jake, I'm going to go and give you one last chance to try to give me a reason why you voted for Trump. If you can't do it, I'm just going to move on to the next guest. I hate to tell you that everyone is a little bit confused.
No. Listen, I don't mean to make you confused, but I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said when I first started this, my reason for it, because when I'm at the university and I'm feeling like that I'm going to be judged for being a straight white male for voting for a different party and having a different opinion than others, that's when I have a problem with it. And that's why young voters have come out more than ever. Young men voters have come out in numbers.
So if you say that you want to vote, if you say that you want to vote for Trump because you feel like you're going to get judged for being a straight white male for voting red, what do you say it's justified for women and minorities to say that they're voting for Kamala Harris because they feel like they're going to get judged for being a woman or a minority?
Why are you putting someone like me in that position when I...
No, answer my question. Wait,
what was your question again?
Oh, you weren't listening. Sweet, I'll repeat it. You said that your good reason to vote for Trump is because you as a straight white male would feel really judged for voting red. Well, would you say a good reason for women and minorities to vote blue is because because women and minorities would feel really judged for voting blue?
Wait, I need to understand this. Say that one more time. I'm sorry. I'm listening though.
You said that you voted for Trump essentially because you're a straight white guy. Would it be
No,
justified
I did
for
not say
women?
that.
Dude, I literally just tried to sum it up in very simple terms because you weren't tracking after I repeated it twice. You said that you were voting for
I'm
Trump
trying to understand
because you
it,
were a
that's all.
straight white guy, and you said that you felt like you'd be judged as a straight white guy for voting red. So
Yes.
is it justified, right, for women and minorities to vote for Kamala Harris because they'd feel judged for being a woman or a minority voting blue?
No, you can vote for whoever you want, and that's why.
But is that, I'm asking you if that's a good reason to vote for Kamala Harris?
No, you can. Anybody can vote.
That's not a good reason for you. Okay, well,
I'm
if that's
saying
not a good
anybody
reason to
can
you.
vote for who they
So then,
want, but
why
I'm
would your
saying
status
that-
as a straight white male give you sufficient reason to vote for red, but you think other individual status as a woman or a minority would not give them good reason to vote for Harris?
Wait, I'm confused on what you said again. Sorry, I'm trying to understand.
You're good. I understand. You're actually trying to understand, and I could appreciate you for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to.
No,
hate
I could tell. Daniel, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo. I do really appreciate you for the love, Daniel. And then Spencer, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Daniel and Spencer. Everyone, please do show them some love in the chat. Jake, I do appreciate you for coming up, man. I'm pretty sure at this point I'm going to move on to the next guest.
Can I say one thing before I leave though? The reason that
Galaxy.
The reason when I'm kind of like going off on this is that like I'm noticing the trends after the election and seeing how things have gone. And like it's just kind of proving the point of like we're kind of sick and tired of hearing the same old thing from the Democratic Party about how we're also hateful and garbage and Nazis and all that kind of stuff. And then look at how the
with all due
look at how
respect,
the
can you
polls
like
in all the
stop repeating
counties
that
go.
same lie? Like I've asked you this, and I'm pretty sure I asked another guest to name like one mainstream like Democrat in politics that is called Trump supporters Nazis, and no one has been able to tell me. Like I'll repeat the same thing that like I said to another guest that brought this up. Like there is Nazis on the right. They're like
Go look at The View, dude. The View. I'm telling you right now. Go watch what they've been saying. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, can you give me a clip from The View where they call Trump supporters Nazis?
How am I supposed to do that on a live, dude?
You could give me a source.
A source?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you on YouTube. I can get you on YouTube right now.
Okay, do it.
Well, okay. Give me a second then.
Phenomenal. For the 22.7 thousand people hanging out with us in here today, welcome in. Abby, I do appreciate you for the Galaxy. All right, The View is the source. Craziness. We're going to go and get our next guest up. Oh.
All right. I have a good one, man. I don't mean to be disrespectful, so have a good day, dude.
Oh, hey, well, Jake, I appreciate you for coming up here and trying to be respectful to me. Have a good one, man.
Yep. Have a good one.
Okay, I guess Jake is leaving. We're gonna go and get our next guest up in the box, guys. Victor, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo, saying thank you for the pre-election debates. Yeah, this will probably be one of my last like politically oriented debate live streams. But I do appreciate you so much for the $25, Victor. Everybody, please do show some love to Victor down below in the chat. Hey, man, did you vote for Trump?
I mean, yeah. I just want to say a few things. Thank you, Dean. I'm gonna tell you thank you. Reason being is because you're very smart. You're a very smart person. A lot of people don't give you that, you know. You have your beliefs, I have my beliefs, you know. I really do respect you, you know, because you go live, you put your all into this, you know, educating people. You know, I apologize for the idiots that were up here, you know. I stand for something different, you stand for something different, and a lot of people need to stop like hating, you know. I receive a lot of hate, you receive a lot of hate for what, you know. It's very immature. It's on both sides, you know. The election, it doesn't matter when you look at it. Vote on your elected officials, like your state elected officials, you know. Presidents, it doesn't really matter. It was all bullshit. Both of them are a mess. You know, what really made me decide to vote for Trump is like, it's okay. So the reason why it was because mostly it's the border, you know, that Donald Trump shot down. I realized that he shot down the border bill while Biden was in office. I do realize that. It's just like both sides are a mess, you know. I believe that Kamala Harris didn't even have a shot to begin with because Biden dropped out so late he dropped out so late. So it's been a mess, you know. She wasn't going to win anyway. I do respect you though very much.
Well, I appreciate you. maybe I agree with your point there that Biden dropped out a little too late. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe that was one of the many reasons why she lost. So why did you vote for Trump?
All right, so reason being is because mostly of the border. He wants to close the border. He does not want to like make up these different like.
He wants to close the border. Here's my thoughts on that. I'd say that Kamala Harris offered solutions and Donald Trump offered rhetoric. During the first 4 years of Donald Trump's presidency, we saw increasing crossings across our southern border year by year until the implementation of Title 42. And then additionally speaking here, Kamala Harris actually came with real solutions, such as the bipartisan border bill, right, to fund courts on the border more, to expedite the legal systems, to disincentivize undocumented migration in our country, and then also more funding, not only for the border wall, but also for border agencies to crack down further on drug trafficking and sex trafficking. Meanwhile, Donald Trump just offers the rhetoric of like demonizing undocumented migrants, saying that we need a mass deportation, even though that's practically impossible and has never been achieved by a Republican ever. Right? So that's why I'd say that Kamala Harris had a better stance on the border than Donald Trump.
Okay, so did she have any policy on border? Can you tell me the policy of what she had?
For sure. So as she said at the debate, she wanted to offer the same solutions offered under the bipartisan border bill drafted by a Republican named Lankford that was also Trump endorsed, that had to do with a sufficiently larger amount of funding going to courts on the border to expedite asylum claims, right? And that makes the legal processes of migration into our country significantly faster, right? And doing that alone, right, will do a lot to fix and solve the issues with our southern border and to reduce the impact of the crisis. Because when we can make the legal ways to get into our country easier, quicker, and safer, people will be less incentivized to enter in through illegal ways, okay? Right? And then additionally, in tangent to that, right, she also wanted to further crack down on things such as the border wall to give more incentivization for people to enter through those safer, quicker, and easier means of legal entry, right? Then also further funding to border patrol and agencies to crack down on bad things going on at our border, such as drug trafficking or sex trafficking that is disproportionately committed by U.S. citizens. So overwhelmingly, I'd say that that is a pretty good response to the crisis, wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah. When you look at it, I just want to say this. I'm not going to be up here for long. You know, you're a very smart and intelligent person. I really do pray for your mental health. Given that Trump has lost, you know, I really hope that you could get over, you know, the Trump derangement syndrome. You know, I really hope that you, Harry, and Parker, they just get over this. You know, it's going to be
I don't get the whole like Trump
horrible
derangement
nightmare for you.
I don't get like the whole like Trump derangement syndrome thing. Like since when did we begin stigmatizing? Let me just give you a hypothetical. Let me talk. Imagine like you're in like middle school, high school. Like imagine like he left. Okay. Diane, I appreciate you for the galaxy. Imagine like you're in even college, right? And like one of your like classmates is like a total bully. He shits on the people around him. He raped a woman in your class. He said all the black people in your class were lazy. Like he said that he likes to like grab them by the all these same things that Trump has done. Like, would you say like, oh, you're deranged if you don't like him? Would you say like, oh, you're deranged if you don't want him to have like the most power out of any human in the world? No, that's not like a derangement, right? That's just like trying to be aligned with reality. But we're going to move on to our next guest. What is up, SSB Tyler? Did you vote for Trump?
I did. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Are you driving?
No, I'm in my car, but no, I'm pulled over.
Phenomenal. Is there any way that you could turn off your Bluetooth just so I could hear you through your phone's mic? It'll make you significantly clearer.
Yeah, it might have a like reconnect for a second, so give me a second.
That's fine. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping away on that screen. Test.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, sure can. So why did you vote for Trump, man?
Well, I just think, kind of like when you're talking about everyone keeps saying the drill thing.
That's right.
Oh, now it's saying I'm disconnected. Can you still hear me?
I can, but it's a little laggy. Tyler, would you like to re-request when you have a little bit better of a connection? I was actually looking forward to that conversation because you seemed respectful, and I could appreciate you for that, Tyler, but you're right. You did have some issues with your connection as well as a slight echo. So we are going to move on to our next guest. Tyler, please feel free to re-request when you're able to get a better connection. What's going on, Kinsey? Did you vote for Trump?
Hi, I did not vote for Trump. All I want to say is slay. I love you so much, and I hope that you have the best day ever, and you are such an inspiration, and thank you so much for everything that you do.
Well, I appreciate you so much for coming up, Kinsey. Thank you so much for the love. Base W's for the guests. What's up, Clea? Did you vote for Trump?
I'm actually an independent voter.
Well, I mean, like, did you vote for Trump?
No, I didn't.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, I appreciate you for coming up. We were just looking to talk to people that did vote for Trump, but thank you so much for coming up. Let's kind of move on to our next guest, Shay, everybody. Everyone just do give us a minute. Hey, also, guys, for the Democrats, we could lay off the leftists now, because guess what? Votes for Jill Stein actually did not interfere with the results of the election. I think that moving forward, we'll actually have a really good opportunity, right, to get back together with the leftists and the left party and the Democrat Party as a whole, right, and find a way forward, right. We could finally try to find legitimate solutions and see why the Democrat Party has let America down and what has made the Democrat Party so far off of being acquainted with that average American. So, yeah, thank you for the handouts. I appreciate that. We're going to move on to our next guest. For the 32,000 people in here, welcome in, guys. It's good to see you all. What's going on, 13F? Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
All right, why so?
Because I just wanted to touch on the energy independence thing that you were saying earlier. So
sure.
As well as we might have been more energy independent under the Harris administration, that doesn't have a direct correlation to supply and demand. That just has a direct correlation to independence, which I do agree that independence is
because oil is a global
debatably
market,
as important. Well, yes, and it's equally as important as the supply and demand. But just because we're making most of our oil here doesn't necessarily mean that we have enough. So what that would affect in supply and demand is if we are drilling here and we're more energy independent, but our overall amount of oil comes down compared to when we're importing it and bringing it from other countries, what that does is we're going to have the same demand for fuel, but the supply is going to drop.
You're actually absolutely right.
That makes prices come up.
You're actually literally right. You're actually, yes, you're right 110%. Yes. Well, yes. Yeah. Yes.
So that makes gas
the reason why gas has been more expensive over the last 4 years, right? Although we've been more energy independent, we still had a lower global supply of oil because of things such as Russia's invasion of Ukraine or OPEC reducing their output by 10%, which has made prices higher here at home in the U.S. You're right. So why did you vote for Trump?
Well, I wanted to say that to get into the Kodiak pipeline. That pipeline, if that construction were to be finished, that would increase the supply to not only meet but surpass the demand, and that's why gas would be cheaper. That's why I voted for him. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and the reason I disagree with that is because the Keystone XL pipeline, A, would have only been importing oil that was already being produced in Canada that we're already more reliant on than not. And B, right, if that pipeline was finished, it would have only increased the global oil supply by 2% when OPEC decreased their output by 10%, and they're going to be a global player. So it would not have accounted for the losses. But Roxanne, I do appreciate you for the $25 on PayPal, saying thank you. I appreciate you for your donation, Roxanne. Everybody, please show some love to Roxanne down below for the $25 donation on PayPal. Thank you so much.
And yes, to respond to that, I understand that 2% increase is not going to, no, it's not going to make gas 39 cents again. I don't think it'll ever go back to that just due to the rate of inflation and everything like that. Gas will never be that cheap again. However, that 2% increase would account for enough of the cost that gas wouldn't have to cost an arm and a leg per gallon. And it might be more feasible for us to fill our tanks and not have to spend half of our paycheck.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, because
right
the oil that would have gone through the Keystone XL pipeline is still being produced, right? It's just not being transported to the U.S. via the pipeline, okay? Like, we still import that oil that's produced by Canada, and we still benefited off of their surplus of a supply, right? But we just simply didn't get it through the Keystone XL, right? Another consideration here would be, I'm completely fine with the Keystone XL pipeline being shut down, right? And ingressed upon indigenous lands, right, over what was committed to by the reservations, right? And I think that is a valid concern that we should be able to notice, recognize, and understand, right? And we should have shut down that construction, and they could have rebuilt it somewhere else, right? I think when we are more energy independent than we ever have been, and when we're producing more oil than any country that has ever existed in the history of the earth, that it's probably okay for us to be maybe we shouldn't be unjustly ingressing upon indigenous lands. And then when we also consider the fact that the oil was still being produced and shipped into the U.S. just through different means than that pipeline, okay, right, we've painted a picture here where it seems pretty reasonable to say, let's not ingress upon their land. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a very valid point. And I don't mean to dismiss your point because it is valid, and I don't mean to disregard it, but I'm not educated up on the American or the indigenous lands, so I don't want to pick a debate that I have no idea about. But
I appreciate you for that.
But another driving cost for why gas would be more expensive is because if you think about transport, so if the oil's flowing through a pipeline, you don't have to pay people to load it into a truck. You don't have to pay them a daily wage to drive it through Canada or from Canada. You don't have to pay them that wage. And yes, it's more job for truckers, and I'm not ever going to be against more jobs.
Kaya, thank you so much for the meteor shower. I appreciate you for the love, Kaya. Everyone, please show some love to Kaya down below. So you're right? I mean, like, I understand your hypothesis. You're saying that it would have been less expensive to import that gasoline through the pipeline in comparison to other means, meaning
can I just finish that second half of the thought?
Sure.
And then, because I understand that you disagree, and that's absolutely fine. My only point is, when we have those hundreds or thousands of truckers that are going back and forth, that money would probably be enough to offset the gain that we would get from the pipeline or from not having the pipeline. So paying those wages, making it take longer, you're having to pay these people to do it. There's just a lot more money that we're dumping into the transport and the wages into moving it.
I like your hypothesis. The only reason I think your hypothesis is wrong is because the Keystone XL pipeline was shut down for a year from 2017 to 2018 under Trump's presidency, and we didn't see any significant increase in the price of gas in the U.S.
Well, I mean, this is just from my personal experience, so I'm not going to have a direct source for this other than my own life, which, I mean, I know is not a very credible compared to the facts that are out there. But I mean, under Trump's first presidency, I was paying $1.86 or to like $2 a gallon. Underneath Biden and Harris's administration, it went up in the same area, not different states, in the same area. It went up to $3, almost $4. So I don't know.
That was caused by the decrease in the global supply. And Alexandra, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Alexandra. Let's get some W's for Alexandra in the chat. I do really appreciate you. Also, guys, we hit 1.8 million followers, which is crazy because a week and a half ago, we were at 1 million. We've gained 800,000 followers in the last week and a half. Holy fucking shit. But go on, man.
But yeah, no. So the point I make with that is cutting these other oil sources, as well as it might affect our energy independence, which I do agree that we should be fully energy independent. I think that should be something that we strive for. But I think that we should strive for that when our economy can handle that and not take a loss or have to worry about like previous issues where we're going to attack other countries and take their oil and all that other stuff. I don't agree with that, but I feel like
no more Dick Cheney. No more Dick Cheney, okay?
Yeah, but I also don't think that we should try to move to 100% energy independence until our economy is buffed enough to where we can fully handle that. And I feel like the oil and gas industry is just going to play a percentage of that. Like it's obviously not going to fix the problem, but
okay. I'm confused on your point.
So it may not be, for our current economy, cost effective enough to try to go 100% energy independent, and also have gas be relatively affordable. I hope I made that make sense. I'm not trying to be confusing.
Well, I appreciate you for coming up, man. Is there anything else you wanted to add on?
I mean, no, that's really it. I mean, I understand we have different beliefs. I appreciate that we were able to have a respectful conversation. Just whoever wins, and I wish you the best.
Well, it's not whoever wins. Trump won. But I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Well, yeah, but everybody's been saying that the votes aren't counted, and everyone's still fighting for
they're coping. They're coping. Those are liberals coping. Trump won. Yeah, but I appreciate you for coming up, man. I hope that you have a good rest of your day.
Absolutely, as well.
Yeah. What's up, Maddie? Are you voting for Trump?
Hi. So I did not vote for Trump, but I just wanted to come up here and say that you're very smart, and I appreciate everything that you're saying, and you're very well articulated. And I know that you did want to debate people that voted for Trump, so I'm sorry about that.
I appreciate you for coming up, and thank you so much for your compliment.
Yeah,
and
of
I
course.
hope you have a good rest of your day. Have a good one,
You
Matt.
too.
Maddie, I appreciate you for the kindness. Yeah, one second. I just want to. Hey, Bill, one second. I just want to clarify on like a statement that I just made about like saying that like liberals are coping by like saying that like recount. Maybe there's some more things that could be done. The only reason like I'm like using such like on spot rhetoric like that is because it is like so important for us to accept the results of the election and determine what we have to do moving forward. We cannot be focused, Ophi, and I appreciate you for the galaxy. We cannot be focused on what the issues are in the Democrat Party that caused Kamala Harris to lose. We cannot be focused on what we do moving forward to mitigate the real harm caused by Donald Trump's presidency and the socialization of these bad beliefs. And we cannot be focused on what we have to do in 4 and 2 years, right? If we instead decide to focus, right, on like things such as like recounts or things such as like fraud that we have no evidence for. No, we have to be focused on what the best way to move forward is, and we cannot do that if we do not accept the results of the election. I just want to put that out there. That is why I was probably the first Democrat on the internet with a larger platform to announce last night that Donald Trump will be the next president of our country. And it's because it is so important for us to say, these are the cards that are in our hands that we cannot change, right? What is the best way that we can move forward from this? And that is unfortunately reality. I understand that it's a dystopian fucking nightmare, but it is true nonetheless. Bill, what is going on? Are you voting for Trump?
So I'll tell you this. I'm not of age to vote, but I do support Trump.
All right, man. I appreciate you for coming up. You got to be at least 18 to be in TikTok Live. We're going to move on to our next guest. Everybody just do give us a minute. Let's get our next guest up in the box right now. Everyone just do be patient, y'all. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Did you vote for Trump?
You're dang right I did.
Okay. Are you pro-life?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Would you agree with me that we could define pro-life as like a belief or a set of beliefs that intends to restrict or impede upon a woman's will or ability to get an abortion?
Say that again.
Would you agree with me that being pro-life means that you want to impede upon or restrict a woman's ability/will to get an abortion?
No, I don't agree on it's impeding on anything. I think that it's protecting the child.
So how do you define pro-life?
You want life to survive. That's what pro-life is. That you don't.
And how do you do that?
By preventing people from doing things because they had a mistake, and then going and living.
By preventing people from doing things. So when you say preventing people from doing things, you're saying by impeding or restricting a woman's ability to get an abortion, right?
Yeah, she shouldn't have the right just to go kill her child because she made a mistake.
Great. So you'd agree with me that we could define pro-life as impeding, restricting a woman's ability/will to get an abortion, right?
You can call it that, but it's not, because if a woman chooses to engage in sexual activity just like a man, they're responsible.
So why okay, tell me why you agree or disagree with my definition. When I say pro-life, I mean, right, a belief or set of beliefs that ultimately leads to impeding or restricting a woman's ability from getting an abortion. Do you agree with that definition?
You can say that, but to add to that, then you're also impeding on the life that's inside of her.
Okay, wait. This is a weird point that you've probably never heard before. Just follow me. So we agreed on how we define pro-life. Great. Is God pro-life?
Yes, he is.
So God would want to impede or restrict a woman's free will from getting an abortion? I thought, in accordance with the gospel and the testimony in the Bible, that God values human free will and would never impede or restrict it.
I'm so glad you brought that up. No, he does give us free will, right, but he would never be okay with people setting up abortion clinics.
Well, there's a difference between quote-unquote not being okay with it and quote-unquote wanting to restrict or impede upon a woman's ability/will to get it, right? So in accordance with the scripture, with God valuing him, one moment, in accordance with the scripture, with God valuing humans' free will, and you defining pro-life as impeding or restricting upon a human's free will, right? It would lead to the conclusion that God is not pro-life, but rather pro-choice. So if God is pro-choice, why aren't you?
He is, but he also says to fight for human life. So you're misconstruing both of them together when they don't go together.
No, you're misconstruing them together because there's an ultimate.
God stopping people from having abortion?
God isn't stopping people from having an abortion. So why should you or the other white men in Washington,
D.C.? He calls us to protect life. So that's other people's free will to choose to do so.
So he calls you to impede upon other people's free will. Where?
In the sense of saving a human life. Yes, we're called to protect human life.
Was Abraham called to protect human life?
Yes, he was.
Really? No, God literally told him to kill his son.
And he didn't. And he stopped him. Why?
Oh, so true. What about Saul and his men that ethnically cleansed and slaughtered the Amalekites?
Don't skip the question. Why did he stop him? There was a point he was making.
Because I guess God wanted to test Abraham to see if he'd actually do it, even though apparently God's all-knowing.
It was a test of his faith, because whether he's all-knowing or not, until you act on it, it's not real. And two, he stopped him because he said this was an example of what he was going to do for us.
Okay, so I have a question. Did God call for Saul and his men to protect life when he told them to ethnically cleanse and slaughter the Amalekites, man, woman, and child?
They're very evil people that needed to be destroyed. There's a purpose for war also.
Ah, man.
You bring
Okay.
You bring up the fact though that impeding on a
Okay.
woman's right
McKenna, thank you for the $10
for the
on
great
Venmo.
stuff.
Jordan, thank you for the
That's
$5 on
actually
Venmo. And
only
Riley, thank you for the
1%
$1 and Morgan, thank you for the $1. So did you just say that the Amalekites were really evil and had to be destroyed?
They needed to be taken out, just like the terrorists and all the other bad
fucking
people
shit.
in the world.
But he also called for
Bible
for killing their
talks about
babies.
it.
Wait. So the Amalekite babies, the infants, they were evil and needed to be taken out just like terrorists?
No, you know what? That's where you're missing it. He took them to heaven. You think that he's going to ultimately let them just be dead? Come on, Dean. He's God. He decides.
Wait.
He decides what needs to be done. And he will
Kristen,
decide
thank you
who
for the
is saved
$10.
and who is
Well, I
not.
appreciate you for the love. So if you were one of like Saul and his men and God told you to kill a baby, would you do it?
If I was during a wartime, yes, but I know he wouldn't tell me to kill just an innocent baby. That's why he is
It would
against
be an
abortion,
evil
whether
baby.
it's
It wouldn't be
or
an
not.
innocent baby. It would be an evil baby, right?
No, but they would grow up to be it because of the culture. You're missing the point. Have you ever been to a Muslim country? Have you ever seen what's embedded in their souls and what they do to people when they get older?
Have you
So,
ever
yeah,
read
he
Leviticus
prevented
25
that from
verses
happening.
44-46 where God literally says that
Let me
slavery of
finish,
non-Christians
Dean. You're an
/ non-Israelites
interrupter.
is okay?
You're an interrupter.
Wait,
Let me
so I just want to
finish.
clarify. I've whittled you down to the position of saying that it is okay to literally ruthlessly murder babies that are going to grow up to be bad people.
Not
So I just
ruthlessly,
want
it's
to
a part of
clarify.
war.
Would it be morally justified for Hitler's mom to abort him?
What's that?
Would it have been justified for Hitler's mom to abort him?
She didn't know what he was going to turn out to be. What does that have to do with the norm culture that needed
So
to be
given that she
destroyed?
did, would it have been justified for her to abort him?
If he was going to end up being the way he was, yeah, he would have been justified, but she would have never known. Only God
Oh
would have
my God. Okay.
Only God
okay.
would have known.
Wait,
And if
so
God
abortion
decides
can
to
be
end a
justified?
life, he is God. He is your creator. He gets to decide, not
So abortion.
you.
Okay, so God gets to decide. So God is like the inevitable end all be all with moral truth. So if God told you,
Well, he is, because he is God. He is the moral standard. He is love. You are not.
So if
That
God
there's
said that,
not one good. He says there is not one good person in this world. Only God is good. So without God, you are not good. And you don't know God, and it shows because you're not good. You use people to make
Not
money,
good.
bro, and it's true. You really are, bro. You're like all those other famous people out there.
Really?
They use people's emotions to make money. You
okay,
are so
wait.
obvious.
This
Let's
is
go back.
really
Let's
no.
skip all that, though.
We're not going to skip that.
We're
So a Christian telling me that I use people's emotions to make money is like so fucking ironic. So I
it's
have a
not.
question. What is the required tithe in the LDS church? You have
Guess
to give
what?
a
They're
you
not
have to
real
give you have to give a
Christians. They're not real
10% of
Christians. That example. They're not.
oh
I used to be a Mormon. I used to be a Mormon, Dean. The Bible does not command to give 10%.
Oh,
God
fuck.
wants our hearts. He does
Lexi,
not
thank
want
you
us
for
our
the
money.
thank
You know
you for the
what
$5
Jesus
on
taught?
Venmo.
He taught to help the poor.
Oh, wait,
to help the needy.
I have a question.
Not
What is
a
a
church.
relevant? What is a relevant distinction between me having my Venmo, my PayPal, my bio, allowing individuals to support me if they like what I preach, and a church like passing around the basket every Sunday
No, you
church
know what they
service,
should be doing? That
like
money,
allowing
they should
people
be
to hey,
helping the
hey, stop talking while I could speak. Is that okay?
You talk too much. You don't give
Oh
nobody else
no! I don't talk too much. You listen too little. Okay.
No, I'm listening to you. I've been listening to you for a long time.
No, because if you were listening to me, you wouldn't have interrupted me.
No, you just keep going on and you don't listen to my full points.
No, I
You have a
do.
lot
You
of
don't listen
points
to my full
make.
points.
You make up like 20 points and we can't stick to one factor at a time.
No, I was
You're not
making
a
a very
debater.
clear, single, and concise
You're a
point, and you weren't
yapper.
listening. I asked you to give me the relevant distinction between me having my Venmo, my PayPal in my bio, allowing individuals to support and donate to me if they like what I preach and like what I believe in, and a church passing around, right, the collection basket every Sunday church service, asking people to donate to them if they like what they preach and they like what they believe in. What's the difference?
And they
there?
shouldn't be doing that. That's the whole point. Jesus taught to give to the poor. You did not.
Scout, thank you so
listen
much for the
to me.
$10 on
Use
Venmo
your
saying, how do you
brain,
do it, King?
Dean.
I appreciate you
Not
for the
your
$10 on
emotion.
Venmo, Scout. Okay, well, if Jesus taught to give to the poor, name one piece of legislation influenced to get passed through Congress by a Republican ever that only benefited the poor.
Man is fallible. I'm not saying men are doing it right either.
That's
Just like
fucking
churches,
crazy.
Most of them are false.
That's crazy,
Most
and that's
people
why
are not
Christians
true
should be
Christians. You know what
Democrats.
the Bible says?
And
That
that's
the
why
way to
Christians should be
life
Democrats.
Is narrow and hard
Nicola,
to
thank
find.
you for the
and
$2
few
on Venmo.
travel
And
it.
Bella, thank you for the 50
Do
cents.
not
And that,
live like
sir,
Jesus.
and that's why Christians should be Democrats. It's because the Republican platform does not uphold Christian values, such as giving to the
No,
poor
neither
or
do
helping out the less
Democrats.
needy.
Neither do
They do.
Democrats.
They
No,
do.
they don't.
They
They're
absolutely
greedy.
do. They
You know
absolutely
that
do.
Kamala
I can tell
Harris
you how
raised
right now.
million in one night for her campaign to have a freaking concert when that should have went to poor. How disgusting is that behavior too? I can call it out on both sides.
Okay, let's do it. So under the Biden-Harris administration, there's 4 pieces of legislation that focus the low and the middle class more so than the top 1%. We'd see this in the PACT Act that invested.
Tell me how that's affecting
sir,
the
shut the
economy.
fuck up while I speak.
Ooh, you're so big and bad.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for the $1 on Venmo. So under the Biden-Harris administration, there's 4 pieces of legislation that benefited the low and the middle class more so than the top 1%. One example would be the PACT Act that invested $800 million into the expansion of VA healthcare benefits. Another example would be the Chips and Science Act that invested $25 billion into U.S. chip producers so we could reduce consumer prices.
I already know all that stuff. I don't need to hear it.
So then leave.
Here's the reality.
So then leave.
Let's
If you're
look
not
at
here to debate, if you're not here to listen, leave.
Why can't I answer your
Joseph,
stuff?
thank you for the $5 on
I don't
PayPal.
need
Well,
to
you're
hear
not
all
answering
the
my
facts,
stuff because I
okay?
wasn't done speaking. Aaron, thank you for the $5 on PayPal, and Aleo, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. If you're not here to hear me out, if you're not here to let me finish, if you're not here to make to let me make my point,
Hey, then let me speak as much as you speak when I speak.
Well, I'm just still waiting on an answer to my question, and you've interrupted me 3 times while I've tried to ask.
Talked about all those PACT acts
5,
and everything
4,
they did, right?
3, 2, good boy. So back to what I was saying, right? There was 4 pieces of congressional legislation influenced to get passed under the Biden-Harris administration that benefited members of the low and the middle class more so than the top 1%.
No, they did not.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and kick you if you do it again. That is your last warning because you are interrupting me before I can make my point. You have interrupted me twice already on this one point. Do you have self-control, sir?
Yeah, I do. Do you?
Demonstrate it to me by not interrupting me while I'm attempting to ask you a question. Is that fair?
Sure, go ahead.
Good boy. Madison, thank you for the $5 on PayPal.
Call
Thank you so
me
much
boy.
for the
I'm a
love.
man. I'm a lot older than you.
Okay.
I'm 43 years old. Address me as such.
40. I'll address you with respect if you address me with respect.
I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not
You're
calling you a little boy.
disrespecting me by interrupting me every time I try to ask you the same question, and now we're in our 4th go around.
Go ahead and ask it, Dean.
Great. So there's 4 pieces of policy passed under the Biden-Harris administration that benefited the low and the middle class more so than the top 1%. A good example of such would be the PACT Act, the Infrastructure Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act, and the Chips and Science Act. Can you name one piece of legislation influenced to get passed under Trump's first 4 years that benefited members of the low and the middle class more so than members of the top 1%?
I don't know the name of the legislations, but I know that everything he did lower it, and it showed.
Okay, so give me an example of one thing that he did that benefited the low and the middle class.
I don't want
more
to
than rich
answer
people.
that question. I want to go back to what you said about what they did first. Let's talk
Great.
about.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and kick you if you don't want to answer that question. I tried to get you to answer that 3 times. You interrupted me all 3 times. I finally had to call you a good boy, so you want to interrupt me the 4th, but then you refused to answer the question. We're going to go to move on. For the 32,000 people in here, welcome in, guys. Kiara, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo, saying that I'm a diva. I appreciate you so much for the love. Let's go and get our next guest up in the guest right now, y'all. Everyone, just do give us a minute. Let's go and see what they have to say, y'all. All right, let's go and see what our next guest here has to say. And Madison, thank you so much for the $1 on PayPal, saying I sent you a message on Instagram. I'll check it out. If you are MAGA, make sure to hop in the queue, y'all. We're just looking to talk to people that did vote for Trump. And Emily, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Emily. Everyone, please do show some love to Emily, guys. Thank you so much. What's up, Jensen? Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, I did.
All right, and why is that?
Because the economy benefits.
You trolling? You trolling?
No. Economy growth before the pandemic, 2.5%.
Wait, so you're voting for Trump because of economic growth under his first term?
Yes.
Okay, how did Donald Trump cause that economic growth?
Because of his good tax policies and his deregulation.
Because of his tax policy and deregulation. Okay, so what? So how did his tax? Okay, so about his tax policy specifically. So the TCJA, right, that Donald Trump passed in 2017, right, ultimately led to a GDP growth of about $10 billion per year, right, which would not account for the GDP growth that we saw as a whole, and that would have been isolated by 2 Harvard economists, one on the right, one on the left, right, and you could find that by searching up macroeconomic effects of the 2017 tax reform bill on Google.
Okay, but what about the unemployment in his first term?
Okay, I mean, well, if you just want to basically associate the rate of unemployment, right, with the presidency, all right, I mean, I'll allow you
No,
to say
I understand the
I think with the $5 on
COVID
Venmo.
and stuff. I understand that affected it. I also
Well, no. I mean, let me finish my point there. Because
Okay,
you're going to say
okay.
that like we had a 50-year record low rate of unemployment under Trump's term, and you won't be able to explain to me how he caused that. You'll just simply say because it happened under his term, he caused it. Well, I mean, can I say the same thing with record high rate of unemployment that happened under his term in April of 2020 and 14.8%?
Well, yeah, because that's because of COVID, though. You know, I know what you mean, though.
Okay, right. So you're saying that external variables can impact things that happen in an economy. So explain to me how Donald Trump caused, right, the 50-year record low rate of unemployment by isolating for external variables. And Faith, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. I do appreciate you for the love, Faith. Thank you so much.
Well, I think it was because of his policies that prioritized the job creation and manufacturing, and
such as what?
And the Tax Cuts and the Jobs Act.
You're saying that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act caused that level of unemployment. So we actually saw more jobs overseas under Trump's term in comparison to Biden and Harris's. And I'd love for you to demonstrate to me a study that would say that the TCJA caused an increase in manufacturing, because on the macro scale, we actually saw no increase in business investment. So I don't know how on the macro scale we'd see an increase in manufacturing. And that's coming from a Brookings study. Just look up Brookings study, TCJA business investment. You will see that it actually led to no macro level increase of production.
1 second. Let me write that down, please. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that so I can write it down?
Yeah, Brookings study, TCGA. And I'm pretty sure that you're lying about your accent. So I'm going to kick you, but do look it up.
Whoa.
I don't know. It sounded super fake. Okay, I just got a PayPal that said, let's see, I'm going to read it off. Please listen to Discord people are unfollowing you because you're giving Trump supporters a platform today. We don't want to hear from the people who stripped our rights away. Please go on Discord. Please platform people who are affected by Trump's presidency. How about we do both? Because I don't think that there will ever be a time where there should be silence, right? And we should stop educating about why Donald Trump or our current presidential nominee is harmful at all. Okay? There will never be a time where that is a good thing, literally ever. But I absolutely do believe that we should obviously hear from people that are affected. So how about we do both? Okay? Right? It's if anything, right, more important now to be talking about, right, the pitfalls of the Trump presidency to rally more people and support against Trump compared to when he wasn't the presidential nominee, right? Ross, I appreciate you for the $5 on PayPal. So I will respectfully reject your critique. And if you want to unfollow me for that reason, you go straight ahead. We're going to move on to next guys. So everyone just do give us a minute. Julia, I appreciate you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Julia, we're going to get our next guest up in here right now. All right. Everyone, please do show some love to Julia in the comment section for the $10. All right, let's see what our next guest has to say. Everybody just do give us a minute. But yeah, maybe while I'm getting up our next guest, I could just point out that yes, it is over, guys. Trump is the next president of our country. We need to be focused on the future and how we're going to move forward. Jack, are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, I did.
Vote for Trump?
I just want to start
Chrissy,
off,
thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. My day has been a little bit of a shock, if I'm just being completely transparent and honest. It really sucks to work for an end goal for so long and then, of course, to not achieve it. And I bet that you could understand that just conceptually speaking outside of politics. My heart goes out to people who pain will be immediate, imminent, and bad. And it's painful. It really is. It sucks. I mean, I think myself as a middle class white straight guy, I'll be completely fine. But I'm more so concerned predominantly about America's women and girls, right? That will continue to be denied, right? And the 60 assault victims per day that have been denied an abortion since Roe v. Wade was overturned, knowing that will continue for at minimum another 4 years.
Okay. Well, so the reason I vote for Trump is that I'm a sports dietitian major, so I'm really big with the health, of our people, the food, and vaping and all that. And once I heard that, I was pretty undecided, but once I heard that he'd be putting RFK in charge of that stuff.
I gotta kick you for saying that. I do understand your argument. Basically, you wanted to make America healthy again because he wants to put RFK in control of the FDA. Yeah, but banning vaccines is not going to achieve that end goal. But yeah, when you say anything like VAPING, right, or SIGs, etc., TikTok restricts those words, and I end up getting an age restriction for that shit. But we're gonna move on. But maybe there's one thing that I could say was good under Trump's last term is I think he pushed for a ban on I almost said myself from 18 to 21 years old. But ultimately speaking, I think any of the good that could exist there is going to be drastically offset. Lagging, Okay, apparently we have some lag. I'm gonna be right back. I know how to fix it.
I'm a Democrat. I voted for Kamala, but I just want to come up here and thank you, because as a female member of the LGBTQ plus community, you are helping me get through this, because I'm scared for my rights. But I'm just here to thank you for everything you're talking about. You're very, very smart, and I'm not as educated on this as you. But I'm just here to thank you. You can kick me off now, but thank you so much.
Lily, I appreciate you for coming up and sharing your voice. There will be a way forward. There always is. We just don't know what it is yet. And I'm scared for it.
Appreciate that you're worrying about other people too. I'm worried about everything.
Thank you for coming up, Lily. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Amanda, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for that love. Trump.
Yes, I did. First time.
And why is that?
I believe in his border policies more than Kamala's.
Okay, what is his border policy?
Sorry, shit. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. My bad.
You could swear. What is his border policy?
I don't know much about policies, but I'm saying more about what he wants to do with borders.
Tamara, I appreciate you for the $5 in Venmo. So what Trump wants to do the border, right, through his power as president, would be border policy. So what does he want to do with the border?
Well, he wants to just secure it a lot more.
Yeah, but how does he want to do that? Because that's a goal, right? But how's he going to achieve that goal?
Shit, I mean, I don't know. I don't do this for a job. I just know that that's his overall goal.
That's like what he said. Yeah. But we shouldn't accept, right, someone's words because what they say, but more so their plan to achieve what they say. Bianca, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Like, for instance, would you have voted for Harris if she said that she's going to make everyone in America a millionaire and delete the nation's debt?
I mean, the thing about that is that that's super unrealistic, right?
Right. Just like I'd say it's super unrealistic that we could achieve a mass deportation of all undocumented migrants, right? Because it's practically impossible.
Is that really unrealistic,
Trump
though?
campaign on it, and none of them were ever able to do it. Yes, incredibly unrealistic.
I feel like that's a lot more realistic than being a millionaire.
So then, then why has no Republican president ever done it, but yet all Republican presidents have campaigned on it for the last 30 years?
He did. We had a very, very low amount of immigration when it was his term.
Well, we actually had numbers that would increase year by year until COVID hit and Title 42 was implemented, and we had the same, if not higher, levels of crossings at the end of Trump's term as we have right now today, right?
Well, yeah, they would increase over every year, but
it also has nothing to do with why or how a mass deportation is impractical. I mean, you could prove to me that it is practical by just telling me how we do it. Nathaniel, thank you for the $7 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Nathaniel.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna sit here and just spew bullshit out of my mouth. You know, I'm not like that. I don't just sit here and just say oh, I believe in this policy when I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? I just believe in. I just listen to what his overall goals are, and I listen to what Kamala's overall goals are also, and I like Trump's say on it.
Okay, just overall goals. Okay, so if Kamala Harris campaigned on decreasing the nation's debt, getting it back to zero, right, making the average American better off, ending inflation, right, would you have voted for her? Because those are some better plans.
Well, yeah, no, of course, but also Trump also wants to do that. That's also his overall goal, is it not?
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I mean, man, I'm going to move on to the next guest. There's no debate to be had because you're not voting with intelligence. You're voting with ignorance and rhetoric. I just moving forward into the next elections, in 2 and 4 years, please don't vote for a candidate just because they say that they're going to do good things for you. At the bare minimum, ensure that they have a plan.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate you for coming on, man. Randy, I appreciate you for the $1 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Randy. We're going to move on to our next guest here. Nathaniel, thank you so much for the $7 on PayPal as well. I appreciate you, Nathaniel. And then Sarah, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. I do really appreciate you for the love there as well. Hello, V.S. Gonzalez. Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did.
All right, why did you do that? And Hannah, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal, saying thank you so much, Dean. You made a difference. I appreciate you, Hannah. We tried, man. But I do appreciate you for the $20 donation. Thank you so much, Hannah. Please show some love to Hannah down below in the comment section. But what's going on, VS? Why did you vote Trump?
Honestly, it's kind of your fault.
That Trump won?
No, yeah, I'm gonna blame you.
Okay, so if I never started streaming, he would have lost?
I have a card of
So you're telling me that I caused 5 million people to vote for Trump?
Yeah, completely your fault.
Okay, how?
People don't really agree with everything that you talk about, brother.
Like what?
Everything.
No, a card.
Okay, so it's like my fault that people are ignorant and dense? Deal with it.
No, but when you sit there and push false narratives, brother, you sort of turn people off to your movement.
Like what?
Like what? Just whenever you're speaking, Dean.
Okay, well, okay, so I'm spreading a false narrative right now?
Did I say right now?
Wait, you said everything I say is
3 years,
wait, you said everything I've said is a false narrative. Okay, well, I said in my recent TikTok video that Trump will be the next president of our country. So, following your logic, that was a false narrative?
Thank you.
No, over the past 3 years, brother.
So give me one example, quite frankly.
Let me see. Okay. So if somebody comes on your live, the first thing you say is, "Are you voting for Debbie Dawn?" That alone is just annoying. It's childish. It turns a lot of people off to your movement. Nobody wanted to vote for her in the first place. There's bigger things to worry about, like open borders and, people coming in unvetted and all that kind of stuff. But for some reason, you played little kid games, which ended up losing the election for you guys.
Okay, so I lost the election for us because sometimes I call him Debbie Dawn. Are you mad at Trump for calling Kamala Harris a Marxist?
I'm not mad at Trump for anything at all, actually.
Okay, bye. You can leave. You're obviously not like a
what a hater.
rational person.
Wait, stay.
I just like save
kick
my.
me, Dean. You've kicked me before.
I save my energy for at least like half sentient humans,
You literally kick me every time.
BCW Drip, I appreciate you for the $10 on PayPal. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love, BCW Drip. We're gonna move on. Thank you so much, BCW. Appreciate you for that. And Ashley, thank you for the $25 on PayPal as well. Thank you for the love, Ashley. Everyone, please do show some love to Ashley for the $25 donation on PayPal. Yeah, it actually looks like there's other liberal creators in the space right now saying things. Let's just going to read this real quick before we get our next guest up in here. This grifting piece of human filth needs to be strung up on the streets like the degenerate he is. What the fuck? Tashika, fuck you. Oh my god. Did Tashika just call for my death? Holy shit. Another liberal like creator on here with a decent sized platform just called for my death. Holy shit. She said this grifting piece of human filth needs to be strung up in the streets like the degenerate he is. Oh my god. Holy shit. Wow. Tashika, if you're listening right now, I am so disappointed in you. I am so disappointed in you. That is unreal. I have not addressed you on live for months, for a year. But this will force me to. I'm so fucking disappointed. Wow. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. It's funny how Tashika will say that Trump and the Republicans have violent rhetoric and then call for my death. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. Let's go to and see what our next guest has to say. I'm polarized. I'm appalled. I am genuinely appalled. That is not okay. That is 110% unacceptable. We're going to move on to our next guest here, guys. Everyone just give us a minute. Wow. Holy crap. Hi, Sonny. Are you voting? Did you vote for Trump? Okay, Sonny's not here. Did she mean Trump? No. We will clarify. She meant me. I'll read off the whole message. So she says, this grifting piece of human filth needs to be strung up in the streets like the degenerate he is. This is in bad fucking taste. What the fuck are you doing? And then it's associated with a picture of my life and me. This is a push from, her and her, like, to try to instantiate the idea that I should not be hosting this live right now talking to Trump supporters because Trump won the election yesterday and Trump's presidency will hurt many. And I'd like to clarify there's never been more important time to talk to people on the other side of the aisle and to get people to stand behind in opposition of Trump. There's never a time, especially right now in American politics, where it is a good idea to disengage with communication with people that disagree with you, to educate others to stand against the current nominee for the presidency of our country. And I think as soon as we start promoting beliefs to stop dialogue and education about discussion on why the next president of our country is bad, it's insane. But nonetheless, that is absolutely unacceptable. Curtis, thank you for the $20 donation on Vim. I appreciate you for the love, Curtis. Nonetheless, that is absolutely unacceptable to an insane degree. And the fact that you would call for my death is deplorable, disgusting, and absurd. We're going to move on to our next guest. Regina, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Regina. Thank you so much. And Emma, I appreciate you for the $5 donation on PayPal. Wow. I'm really sorry. That just completely came out of left field. That completely came out of left field. I wouldn't expect that in 100 million billion years. All right, moving on to our next guest here, guys. If you voted for Trump, make sure to hop in that queue. Hey, what's up? Did you vote for Trump?
Hi. No, I didn't. I actually just have a quick question. I voted for Kamala, but I have a very close friend who did vote for Trump, and it did shock me a little because this person and I have the exact same morals and values that are all the opposite of what Trump, promotes. And her main argument for it was the economy, the taxes, this person is middle class. And I simply do not feel educated enough to have given her an opinion on it. So I was just wondering if you could very briefly explain to me the difference and the realities between Kamala's and Trump's economic plans and tax plans, if it's not too much trouble.
Yeah, no, sure. Great question. I think that this is an important message to share, especially right now. So Donald Trump's tax plan will inevitably hurt you. It'll hurt the average American. And the reason it will hurt you and the average American is because his tax cuts are disproportionately built for rich people. Over the last 7 years of his tax cuts, most of the cuts went to people making over $500,000 a year, and it benefited people making under $50,000 the least. But they will actually hurt the average American because he wants to pay for these tax cuts for the rich man through the implementation of tariffs that disproportionately impact and affect members of the low and the middle class most negatively, by causing inflation of the prices at the grocery store. So yeah, that was in comparison to Harris's plan, where 100 tax cuts directly for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class built for them. They would have reduced childhood poverty through the child tax credit, would have incentivized small business ownership and produce a higher level of economic mobility through a $50,000 write-off for taxes for the first year of a business's life, alongside her housing plan, etc. But overwhelmingly, I'd say very strongly that yes, Harris did have a better tax plan than Trump.
Okay, and then just one more question. Thank you so much for explaining. I was very confused about the entire Keystone incident. I remember thinking when that happened that was a very bad move on the Biden administration. And I just don't know what the impacts of that was, whether negative or positive. And I was just wondering if you could explain that to me.
Yeah, sure. So the Keystone XL pipeline was shut down via a Supreme Court order because it ingressed upon indigenous lands. And after it was shut down, they stopped the termination of its construction, and that did not drive gas prices up. And we know that did not drive gas prices up because it wasn't currently producing oil, which meant that it couldn't have decreased the overall oil supply. And because it couldn't have decreased the overall oil supply, it couldn't have driven prices up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for having taken up your time. I know you're trying to debate people. I really appreciate you educating us.
No, no, you're absolutely good. That's the purpose of the live. Of course, I'm going to talk to like people that voted for Trump in like hopes of like educating them and like having conversations that could give good information to those watching. But I mean, this is the perfect time to be asking these questions, and I appreciate you for coming up.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, have a good one.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on? Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah. I did.
Why is that?
Well, Trump is, I mean, isn't it obvious that he's far better than Kamala Harris?
So first of all, her name is pronounced Kamala, and second of all, I'm going to go ahead and think a couple donors, so I'll just ask you.
Okay, well, I was going to let you know real quick, buddy, that they said that her name was Chameleon, do you know what I mean?
Okay, and I'll just name you dumbass, but we'll get around to that. First, I'm going to thank my donors. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $20 donation on Venmo. I do really appreciate you for that love. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Hannah, thank you for the $20 donation on Venmo as well. I do really appreciate that. Grace, thank you for the $5 donation. And Anna, thank you so much for the $50 donation.
Donald Trump!
Okay.
I love Trump, man.
I'm just gonna put you on mute for like 5 seconds. But Anna, seriously, thank you for the $50 donation. Everyone, please do show some love to Anna down below in the chat. Thank you so much. And then Bia, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, and Regina once again with the $25, and Curtis with the $20.
And I thought you believed in freedom of speech.
And Elysia, thank you for the $20 on PayPal, and Jeanette, thank you for the $10 on PayPal, and Ava with the $10 on PayPal as well. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you all so much for the love. And Kimberly, thank you so much for the $20 donation on PayPal as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Great. Anyways, go ahead. Why did you vote for Trump? Please don't mispronounce your name. That's just a microaggression against.
I mean, I don't think I really need to describe to you why I voted for Trump.
Goda, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. I appreciate that, Goda. Show some love to Goda down below. Thank you.
Man.
Okay. Well, I mean, could you articulate the reasons?
Man, well, Donald Trump, if you look at the way that he handled the 2016 election, man, I mean, I think that maybe that, man, I mean, people that say that he took on the Obama economy, I think that they're uneducated, you know, because I think that maybe that Donald Trump was probably built his own economy. And I think that, and you know, they say that he's not eating it. I think he's eating I think they're eating the dogs, man.
Okay, I'm just gonna kick you. Like, okay, whatever. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's trolling. I don't really want to talk to trolls right now. Like, I'm not gonna lie, guys. The only reason I'm live today is to have like actual constructive conversation. Like, if you're not here for that, if you're just rage baiting, if you're just lying, if you're dense, like, I'm gonna kick you, all right? Because like now's a serious time, and like trolls, rage bait, whatever the fuck, like, I'm not here for it. Myra, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo, and Melissa, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo as well. I do really appreciate you, Myra and Melissa. You guys are awesome. But May, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo as well, saying that you appreciate me. Thank you so much, May. Please show some love to May in the comment section. Thank you for the $20 donation. You guys have been so kind today. I would honestly recommend not donating to me today. Of course, like, you can if you want to, but I don't think that I'll be incentivizing it today to the same level. Save your money. Who knows? You may need it because of the inflation that's going to be onset by his tariffs. So, Zaddy, what's going on? I'm not going to call you. I'm just going to call you X. Did you vote for Trump?
Hello? Yes, I did.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Great. So why did you vote for Trump?
Because I feel like, I'm sorry about that, but I feel like life, I mean, when do you think life begins?
Well, at conception.
Okay, and why do you feel like,
Thank you for the galaxy blowout.
Why do you feel like someone should be able to decide if that life gets to go on or should end?
Yeah, because I don't think that all life is morally valuable. I only think that life that has the ability to deploy sentience is morally valuable. But can I just ask you a question? How old is your kid in the background?
She's a year old.
Okay, great. Well, if you voted for Harris and she was elected, you would have saved upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 in taxes in the next 10 years.
Well, I don't care
18 years of your
about
child's life because of specifically because of Kamala Harris's proposed increases in the child tax credit.
Well, I think that you probably shouldn't have a child if you can't take care of it. But
so why do you want to force 18, 19, 20-year-old boys and girls that engage in sex at a college party to be parents? They obviously can't.
I think they should.
That's the family. That's the shift in the family dynamic that you want to see.
I think they should get sex education, definitely. But I think also regarding money is secondary to life. I think it is similar to me as murder. So I don't see, like, for example, you could have been murdered in the womb. And
what the fuck are we like? What's the relevance of all this? Like, I'm fine with like the abortion, pro-life, pro-choice conversation. I just don't know what the relevance is.
I want to.
So why did you vote for Trump?
I want to vote for Trump because I discovered about abortion, how the process happens, and how the life is.
Yeah, do you think that abortion is murder?
I think it is.
Okay, so why do you support Trump? Because he wants to put murder in the hands of the states. Isn't that what the Confederacy wanted to do?
Because
Caroline, thank you for the money gun, and then Erica, thank you for the $1 on PayPal. Go ahead.
There's less people doing it.
No, actually not. After Roe v. Wade was overturned, somehow there's been more women getting abortions. That doesn't speak for the idea that less women have access to abortions, which is what I really care about. But no, literally speaking, there's been more women getting abortions. Supa, thank you for the money gun.
But I still think that at least.
So you want murder to go back in the hands of the state, and you want more women to be murderers. Wow.
I think it's better than allowing, like, okay, it's like saying, yeah, people can go ahead and steal. At least having that moral standard, like you shouldn't be doing that, is to me.
Do you think that women with IUDs are murderers because IUDs can and do kill conceived zygotes?
No, I think
conception,
which
would be in a unique human life that you'd find morally valuable.
I believe in birth control. I think that's responsible of people to do.
Okay. Can you repeat what I just said?
I'm sorry.
Can you repeat what I just said?
Do I think IUD is murder? No, I don't think IUD is murder.
Okay, so why don't you think it's murder to kill a zygote, but you do think it's murder to kill a fetus? And hey, little co, I appreciate you for the $5.
Because the fetus is already an embryo.
Sheena, thank you so much for the $2 on $20 on Venmo. I appreciate that, Sheena. Thank you so much for the love.
Because the fetus is already an embryo, it has a unique DNA. It has.
Okay, but a zygote has unique DNA. Do you know what a zygote is?
You could jog my memory about what a zygote is.
Of course, it's a unicellular human organism after the moment of conception, and that is what an IUD can and does kill.
Okay.
It's a human that is alive.
I'm not sure about birth controls that kill zygotes. I'm also
women with IUDs are murderers.
I think.
Say anything.
I think it is.
You do think it's murder.
I do. I agree with you on that, but I also think that.
We actually disagree with that. The whole point of this argument is to achieve that the pro-life worldview inevitably leads to incredible absurdities, because no, we wouldn't say that women on some forms of birth control are literal fucking murderers. Like, no, we don't. Like, there's no way that we would look at a woman with an IUD. One moment. There's no way that we'd look at a woman with an IUD that's engaged in sex 100 times in the last 2 months the same way we'd look at Jeffrey Dahmer, right? In fact, you'd even have to say that we'd have to look at her worse because she would kill more people, right? Obviously, that's not the case. You don't look at it like that. You don't think that a woman with an IUD is murderer, and therefore you don't think, right, that the pro-life worldview is illogically consistent. But I mean, if you want to stand here 10 toes down and tell me that a woman who's engaged in intercourse 100 times on an IUD is worse than Jeffrey Dahmer, and say that that is truly something that you think can fill and lie to 27,000 people, go for it. But at this point, I do implore you to recognize that the pro-life worldview is inconsistent.
I do think that an IUD is murder, but I also think there's other birth control methods that do not get the baby to the zygote.
You're standing 10 toes down.
Simple as condom.
I'm a question. So do you think that a woman that engages in intercourse 1,000 times with an IUD in 5 years is a violent, ruthless serial killer?
She's not. I do think so.
Okay, should they be? Wait, would you say if someone serial kills 50 people that they should be sentenced to death?
I think we should use a different form of birth control that does not.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Should Jeffrey Dahmer have been sentenced to death? Should like a violent, ruthless serial killer be sentenced to death?
Yes, but
okay. So do you think a woman, right, that is engaged in intercourse 1,000 times in 5 years with an IUD, should she be sentenced to death?
There's also intention. When there's difference between first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and is it?
I I don't think that intention plays into the picture here. If I have the intention of driving to the gas station, I drink 3 beers and I hop in my car and wipe out a family of 5. Am I a murderer or am I not a murderer because I didn't possess the intention?
It's like when it's planned. There's different consequences for when it's a planned murder versus not, when it's an accident. So I think there's differences in there.
No, dude. Honestly, we could just assume
I also think there's.
I think that your point here is wrong, but we'll just assume that it's true. Let's assume that, like, just say Caroline. I just saw a woman in my chat named Caroline. Let's assume that Caroline has an IUD, and now Caroline has learned when she engages in intercourse with an IUD that she has a 50% chance of killing a conceived zygote, and she knows this. And okay, am I going to be able to finish my point?
Go ahead.
Thank you. And after Caroline is exposed to this information, Caroline goes and sleeps with 10,000 men over the course of the next 10 years with that IUD. Okay? Awesome. So Caroline knew and planned to engage in intercourse, knowing and planning that would kill a conceived zygote. So should Caroline be sentenced to death for planning out the murder, right, of thousands of human beings that are just as valuable as you and I?
I think there should be a different form of birth control, such as condoms. That's not what I asked you. I think, yes.
Okay, I'm kicking you. You're crazy. I can't believe that you just said that. Caroline, I'm sorry that you caught us stray. Sam, thank you for the $3 of PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Hey, what's going on? Did you vote for Trump?
Yep.
All right, what's up?
My state was going to go red anyway, even if I didn't vote.
I don't think that matters. Why did you vote for Trump? Sam, thank you for the $3 on PayPal.
Very, very easy to answer this. I can't give you exact policies, executive order number, whatever. If you can, that'd be great. If you could enlighten me on that. But to keep it simple, Donald Trump had peace treaties amongst Russia with Ukraine.
Whoa. What?
With
Whoa. What peace treaty?
He spoke to Putin, and there was a mutual agreement not to go into Ukraine. As soon as he left office, Russia went into Ukraine.
Nicole, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Please give me a source.
Donald Trump himself is the source to that, actually. You want me to give you what the interview was?
I actually
don't.
You want
me to give you the date?
I'd like to clarify. I don't think that Donald Trump's word in mouth is sufficient to justify that point, but I don't even think that that's something Donald Trump has said. Please show me where Donald Trump says that he had a peace treaty with Russia and Ukraine.
You do this full time. I'm sure you could do it on your own time. But
I do
the same thing
one
he
moment,
did with...
No, one moment. I do this full time, and that's why I'm rejecting and contesting your claims. It's because I've never heard this ever before. So
he did it with North Korea as well.
Homework. Yeah. So a peace treaty to denuclearize North Korea. They never denuclearized. In fact, they continued to test them.
I never said anything about denuclearizing. There was just peace. There wasn't any conflict. There was no bickering or back and forths. Donald Trump had it locked down.
There was bickering and back and forth. He said that his big red button was bigger and that he was Rocket Man.
That's a totally different climate than when they were going back and forth with Obama.
Well, how are they going back and forth with Obama? As if there was going to be a war.
That's where that came from.
How are they going back and forth?
I got the big red button, and you have the small button. That's where all that came from.
How are they going back and forth? What was the back and forth?
How old are you?
My dude. Okay, I'm 20 years old, but I know about Obama's presidency. What was the back and forth?
Okay, because that was a while ago. Being 20 years old.
Then educate me, old guy. What was the back and forth?
I already said the big red button discussion. They were going back and forth on that.
So if big red button discussions constitutes back and forth between North Korea and America, then that same back and forth existed under Trump's term.
Yeah, but Donald Trump visited North Korea, and all those back and forths came to an end.
No, they didn't. They actually continued ICBM testing after that meeting.
And
then even after the summit, because he failed to meet a denuclearization agreement with him, he did once again call him Rocket Man, and he talked about his big red button after the summit with North Korea. So that was a lie. What you said was incorrect, factually wrong.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He still talked about Rocket Man and the big red button, and they continued nuclear ICBM testing after the summit in North Korea.
Yeah.
Is anything I just said incorrect?
Now, can I talk now?
No. Is anything I just said incorrect?
Yes.
Okay,
because you're equating.
What point did I say that was incorrect?
Well, I'm getting to that. You keep interrupting. You're equating a peace treaty, a verbal peace treaty amongst men, with denuclearizing.
No.
Why would they denuclearize?
No. Which one of my points did I just make that was incorrect?
Denuclearizing, the third one.
Whoa. Okay, so no, that was not an incorrect point. Yes, they had a summit where they attempted to achieve a peace agreement to denuclearize North Korea. That was not incorrect. That is factually true. That is what happened between Trump and Kim Jong-un from North Korea.
And why isn't going back and forth talking about bombs? Why is that coming to a stop? Not enough peace for you.
It did not come to a stop.
How does that not constitute a peace treaty in your eyes?
Once again, it did not come to a stop. After Trump had a summit with North Korea, you dense motherfucker, they continued ICBM testing in North Korea water. Trump continued to talk about his small red button and his big red button and continued to call him Rocket Man.
My point is, why would they denuclearize?
Oh my God.
Trump's only president for 4 years.
Hey. I'm gonna go,
right?
dude, holy fucking shit.
You know that, right?
You are sending me. You made the claim that there was peace with North Korea after Donald Trump's summit with North Korea, because after the two met, there was stopped being talks about bombs and big red buttons and Rocket Man. That claim is factually incorrect, and the reason that claim is factually incorrect was because after the summit, they continued to talk about bombs, big red buttons, and Rocket Man.
No, actually, no. That stopped after Donald Trump visiting North Korea.
You're wrong.
All right. Do you know the date? Do you know all that?
Okay, so you want me to literally go on my computer and cite a claim where Donald Trump calls Kim Jong-un Rocket Man after their summit?
I know what you're talking about, but just Donald Trump went over there, not by himself, but he went to go over there to personally talk to North Korean leader, and that's when they came to a verbal agreement to.
Great. Yeah, so I have a clip here of Donald Trump calling him Rocket Man in December of 2019. If you just want to look up, Trump calls Kim Jong-un Rocket Man again in a bit of reach.
And that was after the climate of that Obama left, which was we're imminent with war. North Korea is the most dangerous country.
There's no imminent to war, bro. I just disputed and disproved your claim.
That's what I'm saying. You were like 5 when Obama was in office. There was big talks of imminent war between North Korea
how many continents
and Obama.
How many continents are there?
7.
Name them.
What's 7 times 7?
No, name the
faster.
7 continents. No.
What's faster?
Name the
7
wow,
you don't know 7 times 7? Wow, you're such an idiot.
I'm not letting you pivot away from my question. What are the names
you
of
don't
the
know
7
the
continents?
factoids. Oh my God.
I'm not letting you pivot from my question. Name the 7 continents.
No, actually no.
Okay.
No.
Right, well, he can't name the 7 continents. We're just going to go and kick him and move on. Let's go and get our next guest up in here. But for those that are curious, 7 times 7 is 49. Let's go and see what our next guest, Magball, has to say. Holy shit, what a dense guess. Oof, my boy. My God, quite frankly, that was a rough one. Okay, all right. What a baby. I forget that, like, some people are just so incapable of, like, truth and, like, reason. So it's like some people are just like actually incapable of reason. Like that's it. That's literally just it. Some people are just literally incapable of reason. Like literally talking to a wall. Make sure to hop in the chat if you did vote for Trump. I think that the main prerogative of today, right, is just to talk to people that did vote for Trump, to have these discussions about why you voted for him, and to hopefully inform and educate the masses on why that was a bad decision. I think that this is the way that I have chosen to benefit not only my country, but the world as a whole. Amber, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, because I don't believe that the Democrat Party has been doing a good enough job. So I want to chip in what I can, right? We're going to go to get our next guest up in here. Everybody do just give us a minute. Opinions on electoral voting. I think that we need to severely reform our process, right? Like it has so many inefficiencies as it exists, and then it could just exist entirely, like much better. Like, did you know that in like some states it's legal for the elected officials that go to Congress that cast their votes to just vote for someone else? And like that's not ordained or legislated on at the federal level, it's at the state level. Like that, like dude, that's fucked. Hey, what's going on? Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah. And I have a couple of questions.
because I've been listening to you. I've been listening to your live for about roughly an hour now.
Yeah, nice.
You don't think that the rhetoric pushed by the left, including people like you and Democrats, and the hateful rhetoric pushed by the left and the Democrats, is what caused people to vote for Trump? Considering so much lies have been spread about Trump supporters and Trump in general.
Okay, well, I mean, I disagree with the last part about lies, but that's actually what I was going to talk about. So, like, what my response was immediately going to be to this is I don't know, right? If like calling Trump a rapist, 34 count felon, fraudster, election denier, religious persecutor, attempted, etc., right, is what like made more people to vote for Trump, right? But I do know that all those things are true, and I believe that we as an American people have an obligation to make sure that the electorate is well informed and deserves to know these attributes of his character. So I find no issue with disseminating the facts upon the American people.
So first and foremost, the grape allegation was in civil court. Now I know that the statute of limitations passed, but there was literally no proof that Trump was even in the same building with E. Jean Carroll. That's number one. Number two, the 34 felony count. Every
so do you
single
think that the claim
major
that Donald Trump is a rapist is an example, right, of like hateful, false rhetoric spread by the left?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you think calling Trump a rapist is an example of hateful, false rhetoric spread by the left?
Yes, because there's no proof he actually did it.
Okay, what's one piece of evidence that was submitted into the court?
Other than the fact that Jean Carroll said she did it, or that Jean Carroll said that he did it, she didn't know if it was his hand or his other thing. She told her friends, but there's no proof of when she told her friends.
Hey, have we had this conversation before?
I'm sorry?
Have we talked before?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I only talked to people I haven't spoken to already, but I would just like to make it known. I asked you to name a piece of evidence that she submitted into the court, and you couldn't name one. And the fact
I just named it. I just named two of them.
No, you didn't. You just said things that she didn't know, right? That she said within her testimony. You didn't name the evidence of it itself. But we've already had that conversation, so we're going to move on to our next guest. All right. Everybody just give us a minute here to get our next guest up in here, y'all. We have already talked to Italians for Trump. Saying that E. Jean Carroll didn't know if it was a PP or the fingers, right? It was not a piece of evidence that was submitted into the court. Good try. Hey, did you vote for Trump?
No, hell no, I didn't.
I appreciate you for coming on, man. I'm just looking at people to talk to that did vote for Trump. I was either thinking later tonight or later tomorrow night that we could actually like host a live and just talk about Trump, about what a second presidency will mean for America and what it will mean for the American people. But I did want to spend like a handful of hours today, still educating. Hi, did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
18.
And how long do you expect me to believe that for?
I just wanted to ask something.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and load up our next guest. Everybody just do be patient, guys. Everyone just do be patient. For the 20,000 people in here, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. Wow, we have had a total of 800,000 people come into the live in the last 2 hours. Holy shit. Adriana, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you for that. What's up, Caitlin? Did you vote for Trump?
Hey, Dean. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. Did you vote for Trump?
Okay. Usually the blue box shows up, but it's not for some reason. I'm a Republican. I did vote for Kamala, but I just wanted to ask you real quick. So as far as what happened, so Trump's, oh my God, I'm like having a brain fart right now. So Trump's sentencing is supposed to be at the end of this month. What do you think is going to happen with that?
Oh, I wish we could ask a lawyer about this because I'm not too sure. There's, I forget. I think from what I've heard that it's possible that he wouldn't be able to pardon himself from that one because it's on the state level and he could only pardon federal crimes. But I don't know. Honestly, I recommend asking a lawyer. But good question.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if he was able to like have it delayed and then whenever he becomes president, like have him be immune to whatever. So.
Yeah. Hey, well, I appreciate you for coming up.
Appreciate you.
Oh, that is a good question. That is a really good question. We're gonna move on to our next guest here, guys. What's up? Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Why did you do that?
I don't know. He's just a better leader.
He's a better leader?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Well, what has Kamala done the past 3 years?
Her name is Kamala.
Kamala. What has she done the past 3 years?
You could pronounce her name right. Sure. She's actually more active as VP than Trump was as president. She helped to influence some of those monumental legislation in modern U.S. history, such as the CHIPS and Science Act, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, the American Rescue Plan, the PACT Act, the Inflation Reduction Act. She also passed more tie-breaking votes in the Senate than any VP that we've ever had in American history. All right. Meanwhile, what did Trump do? Oh, he ran away, of course. All right. Let's go move on to our next guest. I mean, I think that it's time we make it clear, chat. One of the many reasons why millions of people voted for Trump over Harris was because she's a black woman. And there is a large sect of people in America that automatically associate that with being worse at leading. If you don't believe me, please go on Twitter. That's not even a claim that I have to justify with the rhetoric of the right. And I wish I could get talked about more. You know, I think that there is issues that have to be addressed within the Democrat platform insofar as why they haven't been able to connect with that average American voter.
Hello?
But I don't think that should discount just like the misogyny. Hey, what's up? How old are you, man?
I am 18.
And how long do you expect me to believe that for?
Trump? No, I am. Okay, yeah, you got me.
All right, we're going to move on to our next guest. Let's go see what our next guest here has to say, guys. Everyone, do you just give us a minute? All right, dude. Hey, what's up? Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
All right, what did you do that?
Because he supports the people more than Kamala.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait. What time is it? You sound Irish.
No, I'm not Irish.
Oh. Where are you from?
I'm from Sweden, but I have a U.S. citizen. I'm a U.S. citizen.
Sweden. What time is it? I just want to verify.
It's how do you say it in like PM? I don't know, but it's 10.
It's 10. I hope that Sweden is nice. I would love to visit Sweden myself.
Yeah, it's really nice, but it's cold.
It's not 10 in America. I hope Sweden's nice. I'll probably be over there soon. You know what? Maybe we'll all be over there soon. We're all gonna take a bus together. Malaki, thank you for the $3 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Hey, what's up? Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Why's that? Are you driving?
I am, but I'm just on the phone.
All right, I do appreciate you for coming on, man.
I'm in my.
But like, there is TikTok is that is TikTok terms and service. All right, we're gonna move on to our next guest, y'all. So everybody, just do give us a moment. One moment. Quite frankly, one moment. Justin, thank you for the $10 in Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Hey, what's going on, Audrey? Did you vote for Trump?
Hi, I did not expect to come on here at all. I'm literally about to go to therapy, but yes, I did vote for Trump.
And why is that?
Well, I actually wanted to come on the live. This is wild that I'm even talking right now. I really just wanted to come on the live and just really to say, like, I really love how intelligent you are and everything that you're passionate about. I think my thought with listening to you for like the past hour has just been that I guess I've been thinking about, like, there's a lot of people that aren't as educated as you are, and I'm kind of going back and forth in my head about it. But I guess, like, I hear a lot of language in a lot of these conversations of, like, you're uneducated or you're ignorant or whatever, and kind of dismissing people because they don't have the information that you have.
Actually, I think I may have like used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Whoa. Okay. Hey, sorry. Just got to update. So yeah, the person that called for my death just responded by saying I said what I said. Cope harder. Whoa. Okay. Hey, sorry. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to what I was saying to you.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it makes me sick. Can't believe I ever considered her a friend. It's actually insane. Anyways, sorry. Responding to you, I think I used to belittle and persecute people for being uneducated. And I think maybe even still sometimes it could get rough when they're not just uneducated, but willfully ignorant obtuse to education and in denial of reality in a very abstinent anger manner. But regardless, I feel like I have made progression within my own character in the way that I hold these conversations to be more accepting of lacks of education and rather stigmatize willful ignorance than being uneducated as a whole. To just turn around myself and try to educate people.
Yeah, and I do appreciate all the information that you give to people from what you know, because I think, like, for me specifically, I'm not passionate about politics. I've never been passionate about politics, and I'm trying to be more because this is our country. We need to know these things. But it is difficult because, some people don't care as much about these things. And obviously, like, we all have a right to vote. And so we all need to know what we're voting for. And it is scary that...
So why did you vote for Trump?
I voted for Trump because of... Oh my gosh, I am shaking because I'm like trying to leave and I'm out of breath. I voted for Trump for a lot of reasons regarding morality, not his character, but...
okay, with all due respect, I feel like you've been up here for about 4 minutes.
Yeah, I can't get to the point. I can't get to the point. I honestly shouldn't. Yeah, I honestly shouldn't be on here because I don't have time. I wish I was literally sitting here for an hour waiting to talk and I would be prepared, but I'm not. I need to go. But
okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and remove you just because you kind of just wasted a lot of my time. But it's okay. I appreciate you for coming up here and being nice. We're gonna go to get our next guest up in here, guys. So everyone, just do be patient. What's up? Did you vote for Trump?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay, and why did you vote for Trump?
Because he has the same views as me.
Okay, like what views specifically?
Abortion, war, Christianity.
What about Christianity?
Well, he didn't deny Jesus in front of thousands of people.
Okay, Kamala Harris didn't either.
Yes, she did.
But okay, when? Because at the rally where you're talking about, where apparently someone said Jesus is Lord and she said you're at the wrong rally, well, they're actually shooting no, right, wearing MAGA gear. And there's even reports from places like Dextorio and even a few other sources that would say that the Jesus is Lord was added in after. But even if that was the case, I would say that she is competent enough to not deny Christianity in front of a camera, because 73% of American citizens are Christian, 88% of our Congress is Christian, and all presidents we've ever had are Christian, and she herself is Christian, and that it would be complete political suicide, something that she'd never do. So of course you're just being obtuse. But in all reality, I'd actually say that Donald Trump raping a woman denied Christianity. Donald Trump saying that he's never had to ask God for forgiveness for anything was him denying Christianity. Donald Trump passing no legislation that benefited the low and the middle class more than rich people denied Christianity. Donald Trump trying to religiously persecute and ban all new Muslims from coming into the country was in denial of Christianity. And this isn't just like a stretch from me. This is literally in accordance with Christian theology, right? Because if you know about evil, right, evil is going to be the absence of God, right? That's going to be the negative ontological view on it. And any sin is evilness, and as any sin is the absence of God, and rape is a sin, and religious persecution is a sin in accordance with the gospel. There are two very.
But we can't sin. Is that what you're saying? That everyone's perfect? No, no one's perfect.
Denial of Christianity.
No one's perfect. No one's perfect. No.
Well, there's a big difference between not being a rapist and being Jesus 2.0, sir. Okay.
No one's Jesus 2.0. No one's Jesus. We're all sinners. You're a sinner, though.
Wait. But would you say that sexual abuse is an especially bad sin?
Yeah, he would need. Well, when you do something like that, you're in a certain state.
Do you realize how just of a terrible response it is to say, "Oh yeah, this guy's a rapist," and then you're just like, "Nah, no one's perfect." Do you see issues with that?
Well, I'm not playing it off, but
yeah, you are. No, you are playing it off.
Okay, so are you racist?
Am I racist? No, I'm not racist.
Yeah, well, you said the N-word. That means you're racist.
No. When I was younger, I did use the use of racial slurs. However...
Okay, that was how many years ago? That was 3 years ago? That was 3 years ago, right?
No, that was not 3 years ago. Do you mind
How long ago was it?
It was about 5 years ago. Do you mind?
And how long ago was the allegations?
I'm gonna go ahead and allow myself to finish because you won't let me. You are correct. When I was younger, I did use racial slurs. However, with exposure to education, I not only changed my own character, right, but I now, right, use my platform to share that same education with others, and I've apologized and held myself accountable. I have a question for you. Do you think that Donald Trump is racist?
Well, maybe.
Oh, wait.
for a
So I have a
fact.
question. How can you say when a 14-year-old says the N-word, is exposed to education, holds himself accountable and apologizes and becomes a better person and shares the same education with others, that is current day racism?
Said it was 5 years ago, you'd be 15, no?
But when Donald Trump, right, I mean, I don't know, like has a track record of unapologetic racism since the 70s, like denying housing applications to black people in 73, saying that all black people are lazy in 1991, then affirming that that's something that he said in 97, right? Saying that Obama was born in Kenya, not born in the US, thereby he shouldn't have the chance to run for presidency, even though he had a birth certificate out of Hawaii, saying that Kamala Harris turned black, implying that she wasn't black prior, or saying that migrants are scum that poison the blood of our country, instantiating that the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio were there illegally and eating the cats and dogs, even though they were there legally and not eating the cats and dogs, calling for the death penalty for the exonerated Central Park 5 10 to 15 years after they were exonerated. None of that's racism. I think you're a hypocrite.
Well,
I don't think you give a shit at all.
All right, so what you said about denying black people, that's false. He actually did a countersuit and he got money for that because he was false.
Oh, wait, really? Could you give me the court documents of the countersuit?
Sorry?
Could you give me the court documents of the countersuit?
Why would I have the court documents?
Because they don't exist, right? And the reason they don't exist is because he actually settled with the New York State DOJ, meaning he couldn't countersue them. You just lied in front of... Why did you just lie in front of 19,000 people? How come you just lied in front of 19,000 people? He settled with him. He couldn't countersue them after he settled.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. All right, I'll admit that on that point. All right?
Whatever. Get out of my life. Fucking hell. If you're just going to sit up here and lie, bro, holy crap. I'm just going to move on to our next guest. Everyone just do give us a minute, guys. Do be patient, y'all. Do be patient. All right, let's go into what our next guest has to say. Everyone do just give us a minute here, y'all. If you're in the queue, make sure that you voted for Trump. Right now, we're obviously just trying to look for some conversations with people that voted for Trump. Have some conversations with people on the other side of the political aisle. That's all. We got our next guest loading in right now, guys. We got our next guest loading in right now. Everybody just do be patient. Let's get into what we got. We got Joy Warrior loading in. We got Geo loading in. Hey, what is going on, Joy Warrior and Geo? Did you guys vote for Trump?
Yes.
You both voted for Trump?
I did.
Okay, Geo?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, Geo's a bad mic, so I'm just going to keep you up here, Joy Warrior. In fact, there's you. Oh. Why did you vote for Trump?
Well, I just think that he is going to protect our freedom of speech more than Kamala Harris. That's not true. Well, I know that it is true. So
no, the reason we know that's not true is because he is calling to put people in jail for burning the American flag for a year. When the Supreme Court ruled in the 70s that was protected under a First Amendment right to freedom of expression. So
yeah, I know.
That he's going to protect our free speech while actively campaigning on a constitutional violation of people's right to free speech and expression. That is incredibly hypocritical and to the contrary and false, quite frankly.
Okay. Well, okay. So, do you have any other argument besides burning the American flag? Just curious.
No, that argument is sufficient.
Really?
But I do. But that argument is more than sufficient because that is an active violation of your First Amendment right to freedom of speech and expression. He's literally campaigning on breaking the Constitution in the regards of the First Amendment. That is more than sufficient in instantiating the belief that he does not stand for your free speech. But if you're curious for my other reasons why he does not stand for your free speech, he said that the press is the enemy of the people. He called for the termination of the U.S. Constitution, and he tried to silence the voicing the vote of every American citizen in 2020 when he attempted to rig the outcome of the election because he lost. Okay?
Right. None of those things that you just said had anything to do with the First Amendment. But Kamala Harris wanted to censor social media platforms.
But do you think that a private business's rules and regulations impedes upon your constitutional right to freedom of speech?
No, right. That's not what I said. Like, she wanted to use the government.
That has nothing to do with your First Amendment.
No, right. And I didn't say that. I didn't say that social media companies. No, I did not ever say that. And that's not what she said, right? She said that the government, she would use the government to enforce the social media, to force them to follow whatever she wanted. That's what she said.
Okay, yeah, show me that clip, because she didn't say that.
Okay, yeah, that'll take a second for me to pull up.
No, please, pull it up.
She also said...
No, let's stay on this one claim first. I want you to provide me a clip of Kamala Harris saying that she wants to pass legislation, right, where the government can control and influence the speech allowed on social media platforms. Please.
Okay, it'll take a second, but
also, just to let you know, like, she never said that, A. be.
No, she did.
Right?
What did she say then? If you know that she didn't say it, what did she say?
Yeah. She said that she wanted social media platforms to be pushed in the direction of censoring things like hate speech and like harmful misinformation that leads to unnecessary deaths, through like the White House like giving them recommendations. But then the White House then clarified that they didn't want to force them through like policy or criminalization to do these things. It was nothing more than a recommendation. And there's a big difference between like the White House being like, oh yeah, like you guys should probably stop a misinformation about COVID that's literally killing people, and the government like enforcing policy or legislation to force them to do that or pay fines / shut down. But if you're curious, I don't even know if that would be an infringement upon our constitutional right to freedom of speech. The same way that you have to wear like a shirt and shoes in like federal like buildings and businesses operated by the federal government. Like
I'm not arguing that though.
Violation either.
I'm not arguing
but
that.
Once again, she didn't say that, and I'm glad that I can inform you about what she did.
And I think you're talking about a different thing that I'm talking about, and
Okay,
it sounds like
then
you're
play
talking
me the
about
clip.
what Tim Walz said, not Kamala Harris, because Tim Walz,
play me the
which is
clip.
another clip. Right, I'm looking at that right now, but I'm pretty sure you were referencing Tim Walz, because he said that there's no guarantee to free speech when it comes to misinformation or hate speech.
Yeah, he did say that. So where's the clip of Kamala Harris saying that she wanted to use the government to enforce private companies to like limit speech?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now. I think it was in 2019 when she said it. I don't know.
Going back in the records.
You can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have
No, this is a different one,
the
but
same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
right. So that sounded like she wanted government regulation on those social media platforms on what they're able to censor, which isn't what you're
Where
arguing.
did she say on what they're able to censor?
I mean,
I have a question. Why didn't they do that during the last 4 years?
Probably because it's pretty unconstitutional. It probably wouldn't have helped them very much in the election, right? It would probably look pretty communist.
So I just want to like clarify. So you're going back to a clip from 2019 where she never said that she wanted to use the government to censor speech on social media platforms. She just said that there wanted to be more oversight and regulatory like guidelines.
Yeah.
Which by the way, social media companies like that, they like that shit. I just want to make it incredibly clear that like private sex, when we're talking about social media or even things like crypto, they want regulatory guidelines clearly set and cut by the federal government so they know the bounds that they could operate in. Because when there's not those regulatory guidelines, they'll just get hit with like random fucking fines for shit that they didn't know because they didn't have the guidelines clearly set. And like that's why we see like PACs like investing money into candidates that would call for those regulatory guidelines. In fact, if you know anything about crypto, that's exactly what's going on with crypto right now. But secondly, you're proven. A, this was something that she said in 2019. B, she never said that she wanted to use the government to like literally push for censorship. She didn't. Play the clip again.
That's like who's regulating them? Who's regulating them?
No, the question should be who's regulating them, because we know the answer. The answer would be the federal government. The question should be what are they regulating? You're making the baseless assumption that it would be the speech on the platform.
Because that's what she says.
He has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to...
Is this where you're going to say it sounds like she wants to regulate the speech again?
Well, because that's what she said.
No. She didn't.
I mean,
she just straight up didn't fucking say that. And you even recognize that the first time you played the clip. You even literally recognize that the first time that you played the clip. You said that it sounds like she said that. But how about we do this? Okay, I'll give it first of all, I'll just give it to you, right? I mean, I think that you're obviously losing this argument because you went from saying it sounds like that's what she said, now saying that she is what she said, even though she didn't say that. And I mean, if you just, I don't know, like looked and listened to it in the clip, that would have been awesome. First of all, our government already does this within our public institutions, even those owned by government fixtures. Would you say that things such as protected classes in public universities, like race, gender, or religion, right, that impede upon students' abilities to speak against those things hatefully, right, is communist censorship that should not be allowed?
I'm not sure. Do you mean like discrimination against them, or are you just talking about?
Yeah. Like in a lot of like public institutions owned by government fixtures, right? They have protected classes of race, gender, and religion, right? And if someone like discriminates against another classmate for those reasons, they could be kicked out of school or expelled, right? Would you say that that's government censorship?
Well, I mean, it depends on whether or not it's free speech or not, right? If it's harassment or discrimination and it prevents them from the rights that they're entitled to, then that's not free speech anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, so I mean, this is exactly what I'd say about Kamala Harris in that clip that she just played. She called for regulatory guidelines, right? And with Tim Walz's new statements about like hate speech, I think that regulatory guidelines to restrict people from like hate speech on social media platforms might be a good thing.
No, that's totally unconstitutional. It's actually absurd to say that you think that's a good thing.
So why is it unconstitutional absurd when we're talking about social media platforms, but it's not unconstitutional and not absurd when we're talking about public institutions? Both have guidelines that would be set by our government fixtures. Why is one unconstitutional and one isn't?
Well, how am I taking somebody's rights away or harassing somebody just by saying misinformation, right?
No, we're talking about hate speech. Please tell me how hate speech on a social media platform, if that is restricted upon by the federal government, it's unconstitutional. But hate speech in a public university, if that's
no, did I ever say hate speech is always? Did I ever say hate speech is always unconstitutional? Because that's not what I said.
I'm asking you why it's unconstitutional on social media, but not unconstitutional in public institutions.
It's always constitutional. It's protected by the First Amendment, according to the Supreme Court.
Okay, so then you do think that public universities that are owned by our government, when they limit their students' abilities to hate speech and slur other students, that is unconstitutional because those are regulatory guidelines that restrict student speeches set by our government, right?
I mean, yeah, I think universities do infringe on people's First Amendment rights. Often it depends on each case, right? Like,
wait, so do you think that public universities are communist?
Protected.
So then, why have none of these universities been sued for it?
They do. They get sued every day.
Okay, can you give me an example?
Yeah, I mean, I literally almost got into a lawsuit with my own university over free speech, right?
Let's do a little bit more of a public example that you could source online about a public university getting sued, right, for having protected classes such as race, gender, religion, not allowing their students to hate speech against those things with a threat of expulsion. So could you give me an example of that?
I'm not even sure, like, what you're asking here.
I thought I made it clear. I asked you for an example of a lawsuit that was successful where a private party, right, an individual or group of entities, was able to successfully sue a public institution of academia owned by the government for having protected classes such as race, gender, or religion, not allowing students to hate speech against them.
No, I mean, I think are you saying that it's not First Amendment protected to just speak about?
For an example of a lawsuit, can you do it?
Are you saying it's not First Amendment? I'm not going to go and try to find
seemingly it's not, or you'd be able to seemingly it's not, or you'd be able to cite me a lawsuit.
No, I think these things are. Every case is different, right?
No,
so
not like I'm actually giving you very like hyper specific, like very hyper specific contexts, right?
What I'm saying.
That like don't really make the cases like significantly like different.
Right, you're saying something about whether or not schools can get sued for having protected classes. Like that's not a thing. That they can have protected classes.
So then why can't social media companies? Because if schools can have protected classes with guidelines set by the federal government, right, restricting students from hate speech against those protected classes, why can't the federal government set those same rules, guidelines, and regulations for social media companies?
Well, and what I already said is that it's not unprotected speech just being hate speech. You have to go a step further and you have to deprive somebody of their own rights, you know, with these protected classes, right? So you have to either harassment or something else, right, to infringe on somebody else's right. Like just me spewing like anti-Semitism doesn't make it unprotected. Right? But if I'm targeting somebody specifically and harassing them, by the definition, legally,
if you go on a college campus and you scream the N-word and you're a student, you'll get expelled.
I don't think that's true, and that shouldn't be true, right? Why would that be? what Supreme Court precedents would make that true? What you just said, that I can't say the N-word in public. Because that's not true.
It's not a precedent set by the Supreme Court. That's going to be a precedent set by the university system with a regulation set by the government, right? With a precedent then being set that would be not that would be constitutionally allowed, right? Given like miscellaneous lawsuits that I'd had to bet have followed, right? And I've asked you to provide me one of those miscellaneous lawsuits that have demonstrated that's anti-constitutional, and you haven't been able to do it. Seemingly, we've been going in circles here for about the last 5 to 10 minutes, and we've dropped.
Well, I think you're
viewers. Do you have any final thoughts?
You're just kind of standing on a hill that. You're just gonna die on this hill, I guess, that you can't.
I'm not dying on a hill. I'm just giving you.
And that's not true because the Supreme Court has said you can use hate speech. You just said that universities can expel.
So then how? Wait, I'm so sorry.
N-word.
Right, if hate speech is constitutionally protected, then why are universities allowed to expel students for like using hate speech against protected attributes such as race, gender, or class? They are.
They're not unless they are.
Give me the legal precedent that would say that they're not. You can't give it to me. You can't give it to me. Give it to me. No. I want an example of a lawsuit against a public university such as CU Boulder, or any public university that had these precedent sets that was successful and determined that they cannot expel or condemn students for engaging in hate speech in the absence of harassment. Give it to me.
Yeah, all you would need to look for is hate speech in general.
No. So you are going to either give me a lawsuit that would demonstrate that the precedent has been set that is not something that public universities have done, or I'm going to go to move on to my next guess.
So you think
my
that
views by 8,000? No more. You think that? No more this. No more that. Give me an example of a goddamn lawsuit where it was successfully demonstrated by a local, state, circuit, or federal court that universities are not allowed to do this as it is constitutionally protected against. I want an example of one of those. Don't give me the sophistry. Don't give me the pivots. Don't give me the derangement. Give me
you
the
just
lawsuit.
sound like a communist saying this. You literally sound like a communist.
Instead of giving me the lawsuit, your response is
who defines hate speech, though?
I have a question. I want you to define communism. Define communism.
No, I'm not going to define communism.
Wait. Then you just called me a communist. What is communism?
Restricting people's speech.
Wait, so you think that restricting people's okay? So you just said the definition of communism is restricting people's speech. So if we lived in a stateless, classless, moneyless society where people's speech was not restricted, what are society be communist?
I'm not saying that's the ideal definition of communism.
Okay, so then what is the ideal definition of communism?
No, I'm not going to go there because that's completely. It's just not relevant to this.
It is relevant because you just called me a communist.
No, because it doesn't exist. It's imaginary, right?
Wait, communism doesn't exist. It's imaginary?
Not the ideal definition of communism, right? That never has existed. It never will exist.
So what is it?
What is the ideal definition of communism?
I just want to know what you think communism is.
You just said it. You just said it was a stateless, moneyless society, right?
Oh, you forgot about class. So I'm glad that you now know how to define communism after I defined it. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to go over?
I said it was irrelevant to the argument.
Well, it's not irrelevant to the argument. You accuse me of being a communist.
You believe in restrictions on free speech, and I don't.
Communist,
right? And that's why you're voting for Kamala Harris.
So you already went back to your original hypothesis, right? But your hypothesis cannot have the precedent set that it's true until you could provide me with a lawsuit against a public university owned and operated by a state, local, or federal.
It doesn't have to be for a public university. A public university just can't violate your.
Okay, well, yeah, you have to prove that with the use of a lawsuit. Give me a lawsuit, right, where an entity or a group of entities has sued a public university successfully for upholding protected classes and like not allowing their students to use.
I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying. I don't think you're hearing the words that are coming out.
I am. I'm just going to go and kick you because you can't provide me that lawsuit. Let's go and move on to our next guest. Let's go and see what they have to say. Everyone, do just give us a second. I apologize for that insufferable bullshit. I really did try to give them their fair opportunity to provide me a lawsuit. Hey, what's going on? Did you vote for Trump?
So, Jesus Christ, didn't know how to get on.
Hey, man.
I'm Canadian, but if I was in the States, I would.
Oh, fuck, man.
But I have an odd reason for it. I think we've had so much tension over the past so many years that at this point, I'd rather endure 4 more years, especially being out of the country and seeing everything. I'd rather endure 4 years of knowing this, it being a two-term limit, and knowing he'd be gone after that than.
No, that's a really bad way to think about it. Oh, okay. that's a really big, really
right now. I
bad way to think about it. No, that's not a good way to think about it. Let's just imagine that there was I don't even know what the counter argument to this would be. You're just saying that he's so bad, and I want to make sure that he can never run again, so we're just going to give him the office for another 4 years.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's
what the fuck. I'm trying to think of a counter response, but I can't because it's just such a dumb argument. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that to. I don't say that to be demeaning. I really don't say that to be demeaning. I just feel like fundamentally speaking, we all know, right, that if we think a candidate is bad for the presidency and they're running against someone that is better, right, we shouldn't vote for them. But seemingly, you're saying that you should vote for them because they're worse, right? And I don't know if I could address that with an internal critique or a counter argument. I think the only way I could address it is by saying what the fuck, that's bullshit.
Like I can understand it. Yes, it sounds deranged in a way, but to my point of view, it is like he's been this contention in the country for this long.
I think I just gotta kick you for that. I'm like, don't trust, dude. Trust. I'll think of a counter argument. I will. I'll think of a counter argument to that. Like I don't know. It'll take me a minute. Yo, Gouda, thank you Goda. Sorry, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. What's up, Juicebox? Did you vote for Trump?
I did not, but I can't comprehend. I know he did win, and I will accept it. Just the hardest part is accepting that I will grow up in this America, and I just kind of want your take on that. Like I know he has said that he would like to take away voting, so that way he stays in office. I just want your take on it.
Oh boy, growing up in the next 4 years?
Yeah, I will be 18 in 2 years, and if the way that works is...
I have to kick you because you're a minor, but I will still give my take on that nonetheless. It's scary. It's very, very, very scary. And it's not just scary because of the implications of his policy, but it's also scary because of the implications of what he makes societally normal. And you can't deny that in the slightest. Should have seen Twitter yesterday after he won. Everyone was like, go patriarchy, your body, my choice. We could use slurs now. Make me a sandwich. Those, right? Like those are the worst implications of a presidency. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna be honest, if Donald Trump shows up to Congress with some radical right, insane policy, it will probably get shut down. Okay? The real scary implications fall within the idea that we're not going to have codification for every woman and girl's right to choose abortion, and then the social implications of bigotry being societally normalized to an insane degree. That's what's fucking scary. And one thing I did want to say, I've seen a lot of women talking about the 4B movement. I like it. I like it a lot. If there's one power that women unilaterally, totally, and wholly hold over men, it is access to sex. And I'm so glad that so many people see that, recognize it, and might be able to do something with it. That's right. The one thing I will say about the 4B movement that I'm concerned about is just a higher level of let's just say discrimination, right, against women who do engage in intercourse. I'd say that there already exists social pressures to scrutinize women who engage in intercourse with men, and the 4B movement could potentially lead to higher levels of that. But if there's a way to operate under the 4B movement without there being a higher level of stigmatization applied to women that engage in intercourse with men, that'd be great. Maybe just for the advocacy for more women to engage in the 4B movement. And when you see a woman that's not engaging in the 4B movement, push them there with kindness, not with scrutiny. What's up? Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Awesome. Why is that?
Really? And this is my first time voting too. Really, it was the other side, kind of like you and just other people.
Oh, I made you vote for Trump?
I wouldn't say necessarily, but you definitely swayed my opinion for sure.
Okay, Mr. Grinch, how did I make you vote for Trump?
Just the way you try to play the other side. You talk about Twitter, right? Twitter is just filled with fucking bots on a daily basis. You're gonna get those hate comments regardless, and I can buy 50 comments just to spew some bullshit to you. That's some fake shit. people. I've heard.
No, it's not so fair. I
like
debated
the
Nick
last
Fuentes.
hour. I've heard the last hour.
I've debated
Trump supporters.
like the most large Nazi in America, Nick Fuentes, and there's very real people.
Holy shit! And you're debating. Somebody told you
and how did
a person on your side told you to get hung in the streets. On the what are you saying to that? What are you saying to that, bro? Come on, bro. Stop. Be real. Be real. Both sides are doing the same shit, but you like to point out the other side like it's some big ass deal. Like if I'm voting for Trump, I'm somehow a racist now. Like get the fuck out of here. I'm seeing the other side do the exact same shit. And you're just trying to point I don't know, like the
okay,
if you vote for a Republican.
There is a certain threshold of your argument. That's right. I would say that yes, we do see people engage in the same hateful behaviors on both sides. However, I would say that the hateful behaviors are much more typical on the right.
Yeah, that's you saying that because you go for the left. Like, bro, what? I can say that shit about me seeing hateful comments because I'm a Laker fan and I'm getting nothing but Laker algorithm on my X feed. Like, come on, bro.
I'll justify that claim. The way that I'll justify that claim is through the rhetoric of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has called undocumented migrant scum that are poisoning the blood of our country. Donald Trump has said that migrants in Springfield, Ohio were eating family pets and that they were there illegally, even though they weren't eating family pets and they were there illegally. Donald Trump called for the termination of articles in the Constitution. Donald Trump called for the insurrection upon the Capitol and tried to overthrow and overturn the results of the 2020 election himself. This hateful rhetoric has led to animosity and bigotry, right, and further political separation between the two parties because he's created an in-group, right, of his MAGA conservatives and an out-group of the communist liberals, and that is true. And this is the reason that I'd say that hate speech is more prevalent on the right. When the best thing that you have on the left is Biden misintentionally calling all Trump supporters garbage, and then the only thing we have on the right is saying that migrants are poisoning the blood of our country. There's a big distinction. And I don't think that we can equate, or more so equivocate, between there being some people on the left that do engage in the same hate speech that some people on the right do, such as what you brought up with someone on the left literally telling me to like hang myself, etc., to there being the same proportionality.
You don't think though that she's spewing the same shit and pushing out more just like how you're mentioning some Nazi ass dude fucking on the right side pushing out some hate speech towards you. You don't think she's causing that much of an influence for the right side? Like I seen. Okay,
I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, this one isolated circumstance. Yes, I do. Yeah, no, she totally did say that I need to be strung up in the streets and killed, and that, and then responded saying that she said what she said and that I need a co-parter.
Or Jack Black on stage saying how
one moment. Stop talking.
No, because you've been doing the same fucking shit with other guests. I'm not doing that.
Sure, like I'd say that those are instances of
those are big influences. What are you talking about, bro? You just mentioning, you acting like Jack Black is just a regular dude on the street. No, that's big ass influence. And you're making it seem like it's some, oh yeah, he was just joking or whatever. But if the right side did it, y'all are screaming, shouting, highlighting, and exclamation pointing, all that bullshit.
So I have a question.
No,
Can you please repeat my argument?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, repeat my argument to me, because I've made my point clear that would like rebuttal the point that you were making.
You said in one instance. And I said no. That's not just one instance.
So with all due respect, I'll ask you if you could repeat the argument that I made already, because the argument that I made already has refuted what you were saying now. Is it possible that you could repeat the argument that I've already given you?
No. What did you even say, bro?
See, that's the issue. Okay, you're not up here for like constructive conversation.
Yeah, no,
to actually talk to someone that disagrees with you. Don't interrupt me.
You didn't even
5,
say
4, 3,
Shut up with that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 bullshit. Kill yourself.
There you go. You're gonna. What? What the fuck? Dude, what? Oh my god! Proving my point right. You fucking hypocrite. Oh my god! Oh my god! There's no way that just happened. There's still... Oh no! There's no way that just happened. There's never been more of a clear display of hypocrisy on my live. Holy fucking shit. What happened? So he was up here like saying about like hate speech and violent rhetoric on the left, and then even like referenced this other creator like calling for my death. But he just got mad and told me to unalive myself and then slurred. Oh my God. What the fuck? Like, and he was like sitting up here condemning the left, talking about the violent rhetoric. Like, whew. Jeez. All right. Hey, what's going on, Maggie? Did you vote for Trump?
No, I'm not from the United States, but
I appreciate you for coming up, Maggie. I do. I appreciate you for coming up. What a wild thing. What a wild thing. Wow. Holy cannoli. All right. Woo, I don't think I've given that much of a visceral reaction to something that's happened on my live in a long time. Okay. We're going to get our next guest up in here. Everyone just do give us a minute. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say. We're going to get Buckley up on the live. Everyone just do give us a minute. You know what? There's a friend of the influencer that like called for my death in the queue. Should I let them up? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I've typically seen them be respectful, so I'll be respectful to them. Welcome in, Sam. How you doing?
Hi, Dean. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I saw you in the queue. I thought I'd let you up. I'm guessing you have something that you'd like to share or a belief that you'd like to express.
I do.
Take it away.
One, this has absolutely nothing to do with what just happened. I'm going to be honest with you. When I also saw it, I did not think it was the best idea. I didn't know that was going to be posted.
I appreciate you for condemning those behaviors.
Yes. Full disclosure, I do very much love her very much, but I don't think that was the best course of action. That's not the reason why I'm up here, though. The reason why I'm here is because I feel that this, despite the way that it was packaged from her end, is quite the tone-deaf thing to say. To do. And I tried to write down why I feel that way. Also, to the people in the comments, no, I'm not a Trump supporter. Fuck that guy.
I'll hear you out. You know what, Sam? I've seen you debate in the past. You've been an incredibly respectful person. I will legitimately hear you out. So just to make it clear, right, you are holding to the position that me coming on live today and talking to people that voted for Trump is tone deaf, and I'll hear you out.
Okay. And also, when I say this, I mean it with no disrespect.
No, I absolutely understand. I fully believe you as well.
Okay. So I think that talking to people about the election is paramount. And I think that despite the fact that obviously you and I do not know each other and that because of extenuating circumstances, we are not exactly on the same side of the fence as far as...
Wait. Sam, I'm so sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
Do you mind if we pause this conversation for a handful of minutes? Harris just went live, and I'd love to hear her speak.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually even free to hang out on the panel and listen, unless you want to hop down and just hop back up.
That's okay. I'm chilling.
All right. She literally just went live. We're going to go ahead and turn on... I'm so sorry, Sam.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let me say, and I love you back. And I love you back. So let me say, my heart is full today. My heart is full today, full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me, full of love for our country, and full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright. As long as we never give up and as long as we keep fighting. To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much. To President Biden and Dr. Biden, thank you for your faith and support. To Governor Walz and the Walz family, I know your service to our nation will continue. And to my extraordinary team, to the volunteers who gave so much of themselves, to the poll workers and the local election officials, I thank you all. Look, I am so proud of the race we ran and the way we ran it. Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background, united by love of country with enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America's future. And we did it with the knowledge that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it.
How did she lose?
At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people. A fight for the ideals at the heart of our nation, the ideals that reflect America at our best. That is a fight I will never give up. I will never give up the fight for a future where Americans can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the freedom to make decisions about their own body and not have their government telling them what to do. We will never give up the fight to protect our schools and our streets from gun violence. And America, we will never give up the fight for our democracy, for the rule of law, for equal justice, and for the sacred idea that every one of us, no matter who we are or where we start out, has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be respected and upheld.
All right.
And we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the public square. And we will also wage it in quieter ways, in how we live our lives, by treating one another with kindness and respect, by looking in the face of a stranger and seeing a neighbor, by always using our strength to lift people up, to fight for the dignity that all people deserve. The fight for our freedom will take hard work, but like I always say, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work. And the fight for our country is always worth it. It is always worth it. To the young people who are watching, it is, I love you. To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before. You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. And so to everyone who is watching, do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves. This is a time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together. Look, many of you know I started out as a prosecutor, and throughout my career, I saw people at some of the worst times in their lives. People who had suffered great harm and great pain, and yet found within themselves the strength and the courage and the resolve to take the stand, to take a stand, to fight for justice, to fight for themselves, to fight for others. So let their courage be our inspiration. Let their determination be our charge. And I'll close with this. There's an adage an historian once called a law of history, true of every society across the ages. The adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars the light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service. HU. And may that work guide us, even in the face of setbacks, toward the extraordinary promise of the United States of America. I thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. I thank you all.
That was one of the most beautiful speeches I have heard in modern U.S. history. She is by far the most presidential politician, person that I've had the pleasure of not just voting for, but advocating for on live every day for about 7 months. And she makes me proud of my work, and she makes me hopeful for the future of America. That was beautiful. Wow. Holy fucking shit, that was beautiful. That was fucking beautiful. And I cannot fathom the fact that there is more Americans than not that can listen to that speech, compare it to Trump, and say she's the worst option. I can't. Anyways, Sam, I apologize for cutting you off. I'm glad that we got a chance to play those remarks from VP Harris. But please take it away with what you were saying.
No, yeah, it's fine. Sorry. This is...
Oh, that was beautiful.
I cried less because of the speech, although it was very pretty, and more so because of what it represents, which is why I wanted to come into the live and speak to you. I wrote down what I wanted to say because I thought I would have a hard time vocalizing it because of just what this means to me and to other people. So earlier when you were talking about Kamala losing the election, you'd used verbiage that was, quote, it sucks. And while I don't disagree, it does suck. I think that the phrasing, it sucks, kind of summarizes why I find this live to be tone deaf, in that it more than sucks. It is devastating to me as a Black, queer, non-binary person, and also to immigrants, and also to veterans, and also to anyone with a uterus, and also to all queer people, and also to trans kids that did not have the opportunity to contribute to the election because they were underage. What I had written down is, it doesn't just suck, it's terrifying, it's dangerous. The last time he won, hate crimes spiked. And I think centering Trump in the conversation is the issue, as this requires more nuance than I think these things should be spoken about. While I don't disagree, doing so in the context of a TikTok live asking people who were complicit in the harming of marginalized people why they voted for the man that actively works toward dissolving their rights is a tone-deaf thing to do, in my opinion. I don't think that you shouldn't go live, period. I think that you going live and you having the platform that you have and using it to tell people why misinformation is bad and why Trump is a horrible person is important. I think that's fabulous, and I think that that's a good thing. But today, being the day after people are mourning and grieving possibly not only their rights, but also democracy itself, I don't think that the way that it's framed is the way to do it, in my opinion. And that's all I wanted to say. I'm respect by this.
No,
But
I absolutely understand and believe you full-heartedly that you don't mean any disrespect by this. Here's my perspective. First of all, about the statement that I made about Kamala Harris losing and how it sucks, quote unquote. I believe that that would have been tone deaf if that was all I had said. But no, since the live has begun, I've not only just said that it sucks, but I've touched on exactly why and how it is harmful to the lives of so many and what exactly those harms will be. You know, earlier, for instance, when I said that it sucks, I automatically followed that up with a breakdown of victims of rape that got pregnant and that have been denied access to abortion over the last 3 years, what would be projected in the next 4 years, breaking it down year by year, day by day, explaining and articulating to over 20,000 people exactly what that means and what the repercussions are. And I feel as if I did not include, this additional information about these different things, that it would have been tone deaf. Now, to follow up with your second claim about the live as a whole being tone deaf due to the harm and immediate repercussions that would be seen given a Trump presidency and me on live asking people why they voted for Trump, the guy that would cause all of this harm, that is my way that I fight. That is my way that I educate. That is my way to advocate for people to be better. I feel as if oftentimes people misconstrue the purpose and the point of these lives. The point of these lives is not to just win a debate or hopefully convince the person that I'm debating to no longer support Trump. It is to articulate the thought processes that exist in the heads of Republicans who did vote for Trump and demonstrate why they're either logically insufficient, lack explanatory power, or are internally contradictory, with a hope then to share that information with the people viewing the live, right? And I believe that there will never be a day, ever, where it is a good thing to stop the fight, where it is a good thing to stop exposing these issues with these thought processes to as many people as possible. And today, out of all days, I find it to be more important than ever because we have shifted from the idea that we may potentially have Donald Trump with all the negative consequences in which he'd yield run our country for 4 more years, to the idea that we will certainly have Donald Trump with all the negative consequences in which we will yield run our country for the next 4 years. I feel as if every American citizen is more entitled now than ever to know exactly what that means for them. Entitled more now than ever to know exactly what that means for those that they love, other Americans, non-Americans, and the world as a whole. And this is my way to pull my weight in our country and in our world to hopefully make those around me better.
yes, and I'd like to first say that I understand all of that, and I don't want to make it seem like you should not absolutely use your platform to advocate for people and to talk about the misinformation that's being spread. That's not at all what I'm trying to say. This is not me telling you that you should stop going live and you should stop talking about these things and that you should completely and utterly cease going live and advocating for people, because I completely disagree with that. I don't think that's what you should do. I think framing it in this specific context where after people, including yourself, have fought so hard to try and get people to understand why Trump is a horrific scum of the earth individual, to call him human would be giving him a lot of credit. That after what is essentially grieving, like I guess the best analogy I could give is imagine someone like murders your entire family, and then you go on social media and you see someone asking people why they think that what the murderer did was justified. Like, obviously, while doing that, you're discussing the important things. But I think that centering him whilst doing that is the thing that is tone deaf, because this isn't just like,
Can I offer a rebuttal to your analogy?
Yes, you can.
Well,
Yes.
if they had schmurdered my entire family, and tomorrow I knew that they would schmurder someone else's family, and their ability to schmurder or not to murder was completely controlled by the will of the people, and the will of the people dictated that they shall murder more, and I had the ability to hopefully demonstrate to people why they shouldn't murder more, to sway the will of the people away from their ability to enable it further, I would be on live, doing exactly what I'm doing right now.
I don't know how I can communicate this properly, but I really want to emphasize that I don't think that the act of talking about these things on live is wrong. That is not what I'm trying to say at all. Not even a little bit.
It's the way that the conversations are framed centering him. And I'm having a little bit of a hard time understanding that point.
Okay.
But, more than willing to hear you out.
Okay. I suppose the reason why this is especially tone deaf to me is because not only, like, obviously he's already won the election, which is devastating, but I think there are other ways that you could, try and educate people that wouldn't be centering this piece of shit. I think that previous lives that you've done before the political stuff, where you were talking about, like, why is being lesbian wrong, or like advocating for trans rights, or you could talk about immigration, or why mental health is important, or why we should be protecting veterans. I think all of that is incredibly important. Also, the people in the comments, no, I did not vote for fuck ass Trump. Please stop saying that. I did not do anything of the sort. Doing all of that is important. That's great. But doing it whilst talking about Trump himself in the conversation, I just don't think that that's conducive to a good conversation, especially because a lot of the people here are only here to gloat or in the comments to say shit like W Trump. Like, this is just a place where they're gathering to be happy about the fact that Trump won. Not many people are here because they want to have a conducive conversation, which you've seen. Because as I've been here in the live waiting to talk to you, people have just been coming up to troll and be annoying pieces of shit. That's going to happen regardless. Sure.
What percentage of people in this live do you think would be open to critically thinking about what they believe in and hopefully being proven wrong?
Like 1%
of people. That is okay. That is 200 people. No. Yes, that is 200. That is 210 people. I'll take it.
I don't think that there's a way.
But
I feel like
I do understand what your point is, and here's my thoughts.
Yes.
The idea that it's incorrect or wrong to center Trump, but rather sit around other conversations about related social issues. I understand where you're coming from, and this is probably one of the last debate-oriented lives that I'll do around Trump. These will be being phased out, and the conversations will go back to the laying the seeds, convincing people on social issues that lead to sway and in the sway of an outcome of a vote in the midterms or in 4 years. And I agree. But another thought of mine where we may disagree is Trump is not being centered by me more so than Trump is being centered by the entirety of the globe, as he is the next president of our country. I feel like any belief structure that would lead you to the conclusion that it is incorrect, insufficient, morally taboo, or tone deaf to have conversations centered around who will become the most powerful human alive is potentially harmful. I think that the more power, control, sway, and influence one has, the more deserving they are of centering, critique, and rebuttal. And
Yes.
I think that this live is a perfect demonstration of that.
Yes, which is why I wanted to emphasize previously that my issue is not that you host these lives at all. Again, I think that that's good, that you're spreading information that is actually true, that you're correcting people's previous assumptions. As we've seen, a lot of people that support Trump vote for him because of taxes, gas prices, and grocery prices, while at the same time, Trump is literally making prices for all of these things worse. And they just don't think that's the case because we're under Biden's presidency right now. A lot of people that are voting for Trump are doing so out of ignorance, and I agree. But I think asking people why they voted past tense for Trump after he won while people are sobbing in the corner, thinking about all the rights they're going to lose, is the part that is tone deaf, in my opinion.
Would you be willing to have further conversation about this off live when we don't have the pressure of 22,000 people watching? I think like maybe if like there's like not the pressure of 22,000 people watching and through the window, I could like just potentially be like subconsciously like more open to like more genuine conversation, and I want to make sure that I have the best ability to deliver you that.
Okay.
Would you be open to that?
Yes, I would. If you are comfortable with it, I could send you my number in your DMs. I don't know if you'll see it or not, but I could do that or something of the nature, because I don't want you to think that I'm trying to bash you for having the lives. That's not what I'm doing at all. But I think that since so many of us are like actually genuinely terrified for the future, that I don't think now is the time to host this kind of live, in my opinion. But I do think that we should talk about this when we're not on TV.
Yeah, I mean, like the idea, like I think that like two things could be true at once. I think that it like obviously should be true that people are terrified for the future, for reasons that both you and I know that we don't need to like cogently, hash over. And then something else that can be true is that, well, the reason you're terrified for the future is because more than 50% of American citizens that can vote and did vote decided to platform Donald Trump into the presidency of our country. And these conversations, even in retrospect, asking them why they did vote for Trump, right? They don't serve to the purpose of swaying them from voting for Trump again in the future. He's going to be our president for the next 4 years, and that's going to be the end of Trump. But what they can do is serve to the people that do come up here and speak to not only think about why they voted for Trump in the past tense, but also sway them on a more foundational level for voting differently moving forward. And that would just be the application for the individuals that would come up on the live and discuss these things with me. Now, for the people watching the live, we'd hope to achieve the same end goal, both for those that voted for Trump and abstaining from the vote as a whole. And I think that maybe an insensitivity that can be viewed in my platform today is merely the fact that I'm hosting this live hours after Donald Trump was confirmed to have won the election. And I feel like that is viewed as insensitive for the reason that people should be allowed time to grieve, to mourn over the prospect of the future. And that is absolutely more than acceptable, right? And I would invite everybody who would feel as if they need to take time to grieve and mourn the future and how bleak it is, to either not watch my live, or I've had people personally DM me, comment on my Discord, comment on here, that this has actually given them a little bit more of a smile because they see that the fight is not totally dead. And that's another representation of live as a whole. I think the fact that we can have upwards of 20,000 people watching this live, hanging out in this space as we speak, right, shows that the fight is not dead. And as Kamala Harris just said, on her speech, that she doesn't want the fight to die either. And if there was an expectation to be placed that these conversations are morally taboo, insufficient, or wrong to hold for a certain time zone, for a certain time after the results of the election last night, I almost feel as if that would convey the message that the fight is dead right now. And I don't want to convey that message. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, I do. I fundamentally understand where you're coming from, which is why I wanted to emphasize that. Thank you for the $10 Peach. That I do not disagree with you on basically anything aside from this. Even the tiny little video that I posted myself, I emphasized the fight is not over. When I posted in my own Discord, I said the fight is not over because it's not, and it shouldn't be, and it never will be. I just think that right now we should be centering the voices and the feelings of the people that are affected by this, not the people that actively contributed to it, at least for today. At least for today, when people are already mourning their rights, essentially. But I do agree. I think that we should have this conversation off of TikTok. And if it could happen today, if you're not busy, I'd prefer. But if not, then you're a person, you have things to do. So,
and I don't entirely disagree with your last comment. And that's why I wanted to make sure to take time off of this live to speak to you publicly, respect you, hear your points out, and have this conversation, because I don't entirely disagree, if I disagree at all. And I appreciate you for coming up and sharing your thoughts. And yeah, I'd love to talk to you more off live, and see maybe what we could do moving forward from today to do both things simultaneously, because I think that that is going to be the best outcome, right? Is not only to have these important conversations, to do what we can, but also to center and uplift voices that have been affected.
Okay.
Well, I'll go ahead and hit you with a follow so I can make sure that you're in my DMs. Feel free to reach out, and I appreciate you so much for coming up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good rest of your day, Sam.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I appreciate Sam for coming up. I would really appreciate it if you're a fan of mine not to shit on Sam or anything. I think that, she's a very respectful person. I've seen her in the past on the internet.
Hey, Dean, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Corey? Did you vote for Trump?
I did. One question I have for you that I've been looking at the numbers and it doesn't make sense to me. If you see his numbers right now for the popular vote, he's at 72 million. In 2020, he was at 74.
Yeah.
In 2020, you have Biden at 81 million and Kamala at 67. Would you say that 14 million Democrats just didn't vote this year?
Yeah. So, I mean, in 2020, we had both more Republicans and more Democrats voting.
Well, I mean, the number for the Republicans is generally the same, off by 2 million, but then you got the Democratic number that's off by 14 million.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that there is more of like a split in animosity within the left compared to in the right this year. I don't know how that could be accounted for in the votes. But I mean, I think that like you would be referencing these numbers to achieve or attempt to achieve the end goal that there was some type of voter fraud last year. And I mean, that hypothesis has been thoroughly debunked for the last 4 years.
I mean, not so much to do that, just generally like if there wasn't voter fraud, why didn't these 14 million Democrats vote for this election if they knew how important it was?
Well, I think that, so you're saying because 14 million people less Democrats voted in this election, that there was voter fraud in the last election.
I'm not saying that there was voter fraud. I'm just saying that's a substantial number of people not to vote, knowing how dire this election was.
Yeah, I think that it's okay to have like an unexplained hypothesis that I don't really like care all too much about. I think the more productive thing to do is look at the Democrat platform, why they weren't able to resolve with the American public in this election, but they were more so in the last. And be more interested in why it is the case.
So
compared to like trying to explain and I think like maybe like those would be my reasons why 14 million less Democrats voted in this election. Splits in the Democrat Party, third parties. Maybe we could
parties
also
are the same numbers both years.
An inability for the Democrat platform to connect with the average American. Shifts right in like 90% of counties across America. But I wouldn't say that a plausible explanation of this would be voter fraud because of how that's been thoroughly debunked over the last 4 years on the local, state, and federal level. 63 handpicked courts by Trump, 34 with Republican-appointed judges, 17 with judges appointed specifically by him. Along many other things, such as his own electoral, investigation commission, where he personally invested millions of dollars to specifically investigate, look into, and determine if there was any evidence for widespread voter fraud, in which he came up empty-handed. The most prevalent evidence for voter fraud, of course, came from 2000 Mules, in which the creators then admitted to lying in court. So I'd ultimately say that that would be an unlikely reason why there was 14 million less Democrats that voted this year compared to 4 years ago. And I mean, we'd see the same general trend within the Republican Party, although that gap was not as wide. There were still less Republicans that voted, and maybe it is even the case that there was people that voted for Biden in 2020 that this year voted for Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that. Numbers are still coming in for Nevada, Alaska, Arizona. So, those numbers aren't finalized. But like I said, I don't know much about politics. I know just enough to make an educated vote. I know you do this more for a living. So that's why I saw you on live. I was looking at these numbers. It just, to me, didn't match up. So would you just say it's more like an outreach problem? Like the party didn't get enough rallies, campaigns, or anything of that nature to reach out to these voters, or
maybe one issue was with the messaging of the Democrat platform. I feel like there wasn't enough messaging insofar as how the Biden-Harris administration didn't cause a lot of the economic turmoils onset by the pandemic. Another issue could have been racism and sexism. I mean, we're comparing who supports a white guy to a black woman, and then also just time on the campaign trail. 2 months compared to 8 years,
Right.
and then we could also maybe just consider the fact that when you have the president step down from the bid for re-election and have the VP step up, although they ran it as organized and cordial and professional as possible, that still does look disorganized on the surface level. So we could explore reasons.
Do you think that if Democratic Party did have a primary and did it someone the right way, that the votes might be a little different? I think personally it would have been.
Wait, could you repeat that? Sorry.
Do you think that if the Democratic Party had a primary and actually elected a nominee, as normal, do you think that the voter outcome would have been different?
Maybe, but I also think that Kamala Harris would have been elected in the primaries. But maybe you're right. Maybe I actually think that it is possible that if the primary was held, there would have been more people that voted blue. But I still do think that the candidate that would have been elected in the primaries would have been Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I think, I mean, a lot of people, they have gripe towards that. They believe that because the way she was chosen, it wasn't right. And I could see maybe people holding out for that.
That's actually not even why I think there would have been more people voted. I don't think that more people would have voted because of a gripe towards the lack of a primary. I think more people would have voted because they already would have had this experience rallying behind Kamala Harris in the voter booths.
Right.
That experience on its own, that prior experience of coming together as a party, as an American people, and rallying behind Kamala Harris in the voter booths for the primary, I think that would have caused there to be more of a turnout in the general. But I still obviously do think that she would have been elected in the primary.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say she would or wouldn't, but I definitely think that if there was that kind of, primary and she's nominated formally, that more people would have turned out. But I can see how a lot of people would probably sway their votes, or in general just feel uneasy about her just skipping right to it. Me personally, I didn't feel either which way about it, because like you said, you feel like she would have won. I agree. I feel like she would have won. So it's kind of just skipping, some steps. But for some people, those steps are important,
Emma, I appreciate you for coming up.
I appreciate you, Dean.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, I'm gonna send you guys over to Parker's live. Shit, man, I'm really tired. I didn't get that much sleep last night, and I need to go over to my grandparents. My grandparents are lifelong Democrats. They're gonna be devastated by this news. I'm sure that they already know, but yeah, I'm gonna go talk to the grandparents. I need to go give my grandma a hug. So. Parker's live. Parker's ad is at Parker Get a Job. If you guys would like to spam that in the comment section, we could go ahead and send you guys on a raid over there. And then also Sam, if you're watching, I'd love to talk to you a little bit more tonight. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So, all right, you guys. There we go. Head over to at Parker Get a Job, all 20,000 of you. Thanks for showing up in the live here today. Make sure to that follow button if you haven't already. On my way out. I mean, of course, I'm going to continue to do these lives. So, love all of you. Head over to Parker Get a Job. Peace out. See you there.